Hello there everyone, welcome back to my channel Fanfiction podcast. Today we will continue our journey of what if Deku became the Kingpin of Japan's Underworld Part 7. Before we start, please like, share, subscribe, and comment in the comment section. Chapter Summary. Battle. The League of Villains clashes with the Creature Rejection Clan. Things don't go as in canon. Chapter Notes. See the end of the chapter 4. Notes. The first minutes of the battle couldn't, technically, be considered a battle. It was a massacre. Absolute one-sided, and with the defenders unable to respond in any coherent way, their one and only reaction was dying in droves. That's because people in the modern times were way too reliant on quirks for combat. It was sad, in Izuku's opinion. Why use combat quirks when you can smuggle firearms or a good old bomb and use them instead? 14 outlying outposts of the Creature Rejection Clan were obliterated during the first 7 minutes of the battle, with kurogiri or sunset warping bombs inside them and then vanishing before the detonation. Bombs were made by Gremlin. Of course, everything that was left of said outposts was smoking craters. League of Villains killed 156 CRC soldiers without the defenders being able to fire a single shot back. The remaining 3 outposts were unfortunately, located within the range of the High Cathedral's warp coordinate scramblers. Then again, they had their own uses. Thanks to Vantablack's surveillance placed inside them, Legion could see what was happening inside. Hear the orders issued to those inside of it. Kurogiri and Sunset, acting in tandem thanks to support items given to them by Gremlin. One that automatically suppressed the other's warp quirk while the other was warping. Elsewhere, started transporting the small army that Legion assembled for the battle. That's where things began to divert from the plan. ******. Purity ran into her command center just in time to feel the ground tremble. Someone brought in artillery. Great. Her son is already at the post, observing the numerous screens in front of him. His face indicates that his quirk is active. Some of her staff officers are shouting something in the background, but she filtered that out. What's happening? She asks her son. He feels oddly out of place, wearing a black t-shirt and short trousers in a place filled with robes and other religious paraphernalia. She tolerates it. He'll come around. We are under attack. Rai, no, Mastermind, she was supposed to use his villain name, replies promptly. Almost everywhere at once. Heroes are storming our bases outside one by one. Someone just blew up outposts 3, 4, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 15, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27 and 29. From this, and the fact that artillery rounds are raining on this base, we can easily guess that it's not the heroes that are attacking the High Cathedral. My guess would be the League of Villains. Right. He told her that what happened at the training camp proves that the League isn't averse towards cooperating with the heroes, and that their intelligence network was dangerous. High chance of bishop-level leak, considering the number of bases located. Mastermind adds, Purity doesn't want to hear any of that, especially on days such as the current one. So, one of her lieutenants is untrustworthy. She will deal with that later. My recommendations are the defense plan Delta for the outlying bases and Gamma for the High Cathedral. She doesn't waste time looking at the displays. If Mastermind is opting for those plans, right off the bat, it has to be bad. Every second is valuable. Her staff officers are eyeing her in silence, waiting for her confirmation. Do it. Officers return to work. Mastermind nods. Orders leave the High Cathedral. Throughout Japan, the heroes storming various bases of the CRC find the cultists to be in full retreat, abandoning their equipment and taking off their robes to vanish onto the streets. Those that manage to avoid the pursuit reach the designated safe houses, where they are picked up by the Paranormal Liberation Front's warper. She is hemorrhaging her negotiation strength, but if she doesn't agree to that, she'll soon have none of it left. What about the High Cathedral's defense? She asks. Gamma plan is much less defined. It's, in short, we bleed the enemy before retreating sentence, with details depending on who is attacking them and with what strength. Are we moving out? The outlying bases that survived the initial attack were bound to fail on their own. No, Mastermind replies. He is, as he typically does, mostly emotionless while planning. The League of Villains expects us to do that. They are hoping that we'll send reinforcements to the external bases. Their warper gives their forces a much greater mobility, which will allow them to launch harrowing attacks and gradually weaken our forces. We have a chance. A victory for as long as we remain in the range of the warp scramblers. I recommend having the external outposts evacuated, save for those best hidden. They should maintain radio silence and await in order to attack the League's forces attacking the main base from behind, or go after the enemy command post if we locate it. I also recommend increasing security in the warp scrambler room. Purity is certain that he will take the CRC from her in a few years. At most. She isn't even angry about that. He could even kill her after this, and she would still be proud of him. *****. Well, there goes Plan A. Legion announces from his field command post. They didn't take the bait. His screen is much smaller than the one Purity has in her base, but he sees the rough gist of the CRC movements thanks to gremlin drones. They do not attempt to reinforce the external bases or abandon the High Cathedral as a whole. Instead, they see at least 10 groups of clans retreating towards the main base. In an orderly fashion. They are way too orderly for Legion's taste. He expected a lot of robed fanatics, but instead, he sees an army. Their robes are cut in a way to make them easier to move, and they are wearing what appears to combat vests on it, plus an assortment of brawl weapons, with some rare guns. Many appear to be instead trained with their quirks. We have Plan B, right? Sunset/Blueberry decides to be an ass to him from her own command post. The quirkless equality movement sent 100 reasonably trained soldiers to assist the League, but the part with Sunset being part of it still isn't public. So she is stationed a bit away from them. She even brought 2 heavy self-propelled artillery guns and started to shell the CRC main base. Officially, Purity had an alliance with Eclipse, and that's enough for the QEM to take an open stand against her. Said guns also have the manufactured by Villain Industries stamps on them. It was very gremlin thing to do to move from support items to literal military hardware when only he let her out of his eyesight for a while. They were built from scrap, so would probably be taken out with a good quirk-powered punch, but a gun is a gun. Of course we have. Legion replies. But it's going to end up uglier than I thought. Kurogiri, I'm sending you the coordinates of the retreating CRC columns. Give them hell. He receives a short yes in response. 1 minute later, people start dying. *****. As expected. Mastermind comments. They are going after our retreating units. With their warper transferring them from one group to another. Fatal mistake. Purity spent the last 10 minutes watching her men and women butchered. Mastermind noted. Down a handful notable members of the group used for those attacks with his emotionless voice. Competent B and C rank villains who are smart and disciplined enough to follow orders, with 3A ranks among them. Those were the Kurogiri himself and 2 former Shai Hasekai members, the Rapper, Kendo Rapper, and Power Punch, Riki Akatsukame. Mercenaries, Mastermind told her. Probably hired for the job. They were strong enough for such guerrilla attacks. Power Punch was clearly boosted with Trigger, allowing him to sap enough vitality from the CRC soldiers to become a bulletproof juggernaut. He went in first, turning the clan's attention to him. While they were busy shooting him, the mercs hidden in the woods rained death on them. Whoever appeared tough enough to withstand that was left to get dueled to death by the Rapper, while Kurogiri, Power Punch, and the mercs warped. Elsewhere, they lost close to 70 soldiers, 1/3 of them not killed, but scattered throughout the woods, typically wounded, before Mastermind decided that he learned enough about the enemy tactics. When Kurogiri and Power Punch appeared to attack another squad, he waited for just the right moment before pushing the button on the command console. The convoy that went under attack exploded. *****. Sunset recovered Kurogiri's body, in time for Izuku to resurrect his uncle number 1. Unfortunately, he had that standard vacant eyes of freshly resurrected people. Power Punch was practically vaporized. He was bulldozing the convoy when everything around him exploded, and Blueberry failed to find anything left of him. Mercs were evacuated, but most sustained at least some degree of wounds. Rappa was left stranded in the forest elsewhere. Izuku was absolutely livid. They just lost their best warper, and with him, the majority of their advantage in maneuverability. He could live with that, but if Kurogiri stood closer to the explosion when it happened, no time to think about it. The battle wasn't going well at all. But if the enemy didn't know about Sunset, there was a window of opportunity for them, especially as they still had some information advantage over the enemy thanks to Gremlin's drones stalking the battlefield. If he was the enemy commander, then considering the knowledge available to him, he would. Suddenly he sees close to 200 cultists detaching from the enemy main force and heading towards QEM positions with at least 20 Numas as a vanguard. The position that they knew of had to trace the rounds back. That was also impossible to be easily evacuated, now that the League's warper had been eliminated. Exactly what Legion would do if he was the enemy commander. Sunset, I need you to move the vanguard to the following coordinates. Mine's crew, hide and wait for my further orders. You are supposed to attack the enemy left flank from the north, but wait until it passes by you. Compress, how many clones did Twice make already? The answer was satisfying. He sent some more orders, almost painfully conscious of Rabbit, being increasingly anxious about the whole thing next to him. He quickly pulled out a phone. Small Mite, how's it going? Tin Can, reasonably well. Tin Can, Miruko just kicked Deathmonger through the window on the 27th floor. Tin Can, after telling him that this one is for Zealot. Small Mite, wow, I like her even more now. Small Mite, the rest? Tin Can, enemy scattered, attempt to hide among the general population, police and the heroes are outdoing each other in arrests. Tin Can, the High Cathedral. Small Mite, fucking mess. Tin Can, what? Small Mite, have Nedzu and Sir Nightai look through the data they have on potential clan associates. Small Mite, CRC has a commander on the level of those two and me. Small Mite, thus far he or she are countering my every move. Small Mite, seems quite willing to spend manpower in suicide attacks and have them die to gather intel, which is probably the only reason why I'm winning in kill-a-death ratio. Small Mite, I have something in preparation that should do the trick, but it's going to be way more bloody than I planned for. Small Mite, GTG, evil plan to execute. 200 cultists clashed with the QEM forces half their number frontally, while the Vanguard Action Squad approached it from the north and the crowd of 50 Rappers clones, with a similar number of Twice clones, from south. *****. Unexpected. Mastermind announces while the advance unit begins to retreat after suffering heavy casualties in a partial encirclement. This shouldn't be possible. Enemy forces most likely in possession of another warper. The artillery position is defended by soldiers fighting quirkless, so I suspect that Sunset and the quirkless equality movement are here. The presence of someone with a quirk allowing them to create copies of themselves and others is another unknown factor. Our main force depleted to an unacceptable level to achieve total victory in this battle. I recommend abandoning the base to preserve our combat strength for future engagements. QEM forces were blooded quite badly in the clash. Purity could see it on the screens. Every officer had cameras as a part of their outfits, meaning that she got to see the defeat of their assault group up close. She doesn't like the fact that it happened. Her people are dying out there, and she can do nothing about it. We should damage the enemy some more. She decides, although her heart bleeds. If we deal enough damage to Legion, or even better, capture him, then Overhaul will look more favorably at us, and we'll need his favor to rebuild ourselves after this mess. So many years of organization building, undone in a span of a day. Understood. Mastermind replies. Silence's decapitation strike against the enemy. Command post is 80% ready. We can achieve both objectives at once if we abandon the base now and draw the Vanguard Action Squad's forces away from Legion's current position. Our main forces should retreat westward. However, the presence of Sunset changes my estimations of the Silence's attack. Success might require some alterations to the plan. Explain. Her son requires more and more input the longer his quirk remains active. This included asking questions when needed. The chances of Silence eliminating Legion before Sunset evacuates him or warps in reinforcements are 20% at best. Mastermind replies promptly. Deploying you and the Templars while using Long Step as means of transport and evacuation raises the probability to 100% unless some unexpected factor comes into play. Very well. Purity replies. I shall do it, then. Retreat with our main forces. Take incense, pain and infection with you. If I'll not return, Infection is the clan's new commanding officer, until she deems you ready to take over. Infection was, all things considered, the only one she could trust with that. Finally, some action. Small Might, well, fuck. Tin Can, what now? Asterisk. Small Might, I've managed to weaken them enough for them to abandon the base. Small Might, their commander seems to have given up for now. Small Might, but I have close to 350 well-organized fanatics with majority of their high-ranking officers and, probably, Purity, retreating westward in an orderly fashion, with further 100 of wounded and exhausted survivors of crushed units following in tow. Small Might, I'm sending Vanguard plus something to keep pushing them towards hero assault. Unit, but expect a tough fight. Tin Can, I've come prepared. Small Might, you're here yourself? Tin Can, me, sir, and something like 50 other heroes, including Mount Lady, she should help scatter their forces around before we move in. Tin Can, keep pushing the cultists towards us and get ready for the mandatory brief clash. Afterwards. Small Might, aye. Small Might, fuck. Tin Can. What's happening? Asterisk. Legion understood that he just let the enemy commander play him like a fool when he saw the cultists emerge from the woods like 50 meters from his command post, without any prior warning. Even Gremlin's drones failed to notice anything. He hit the panic button on the command computer Gremlin made for him. Sunset should start. Warping in reinforcements soon. They just needed to hold the ground. Something like 60 cultists approaching, led by a woman in some differently marked robes, and probably with someone with a quirk responsible for them being able to hide from detection. Legion had himself, far from being a dangerous combatant outside of some special circumstances. The interns, minus a Wu, she was inseparable from Decay at this point, and Decay was elsewhere, mostly unconscious Kurogiri, one of the Gremlin's craziest babies. And Himiko is going to kill him for staying, almost, alone in a moment like this, doesn't she? He did it again. Legion, Toxicity and Juggernaut dove behind the metal covers that Gremlin surrounded the post for them. Legion pulled Kurogiri and Rabbit with him. As the first bullets bounced off the covers, the baby, in fact Gremlin's first full-sized combat robot, began its counterattack. Izuku, at this point, was no longer capable of being surprised by the things Gremlin made. Baby number 434 was a 3-meter-tall juggernaut of steel and heavy armor, built like All Might, but armed with guns. He began spraying the incoming crowd, forcing it to disperse and score some kills. It couldn't tank super strong attacks. Rapper, the only person from the former Shai Hasekai that Izuku was low-key liking, would punch it into a scrap in 5 seconds tops. But here it was facing a crowd of people armed with baseball bats, knives, light guns, and some weak quirks. It should be enough. But it isn't. Not when Purity and a crowd of at least 20 more soldiers, each of them looking significantly bulkier and meaner than the ones that were attacking them, wearing different-looking red robes, takes that very moment to just randomly warp right next to Legion's command post. Warp. CRC had a warper and never showed that to the world. Purity is wearing her standard weird kinda anime-like nun outfit that probably didn't fit any outfit used by an actual religious organization. Then again, knowing Purity's behavior, Legion was surprised that it wasn't made of latex and with a whip attached to the waist. The cultists surrounding her were obviously buffed with her quirk, much more than he thought was possible. They looked grotesquely oversized, like some discount zealots. Baby number 434 attempted to turn towards the new arrivals, but it failed to do much before 2 of the cultists tore it apart. The interns did their best. It wasn't enough. Elsewhere, someone gets the message that their baby just died and its father is in danger. The scream and a thundering sound of baby number 56 meshes into one deafening sound. Another person latches onto them right before the takeoff. Asterisk. Well, you are surprisingly weak for a triple S, Legion. Purity says. She seems to enjoy talking and playing with them. Rabbit doesn't like that. Rabbit is angry. She hurt his friends. Juggernaut and Toxicity are both bound and lying on the floor. She is unconscious, while he is staring angrily at Purity. Kurogiri is next to him, either unconscious or staying silent. Legion is immobilized and has his hands bound behind his back. There are those weird soldiers around them, and Rabbit is certain that no help is coming. Kurogiri is out, Sunset is. Elsewhere in the CRC has a warper of their own. Legion told him about the warp. Interference. At least 20 minutes until the nearest group, the levelers, could get here with enough manpower to achieve anything. The first thing Purity did was to tell them that their warper needs just 10 minutes of recharging to evacuate them all. It's bad. Very bad. Rabbit is scared. Rabbit is angry. His arm still hurts after one of the soldiers applied too much force while incapacitating him and broke it. But he threw a small bomb at him, and now the soldier is blind. Unfortunately, soldiers of the first CRC group joined them and got buffed almost as much as those crazy strong ones that accompanied Purity first. And you have surprisingly many children for someone wearing a nun outfit. Legion replies. Legion is fearless. Rabbit wants to be like that. How do you get as brave as he is? Rabbit is too scared to do anything, despite being angry. He is too powerless to do anything. Something deep inside him breaks slightly. He starts to feel strange, as if he hears static, like some old broken television. It's weak but seems to be growing in intensity. What's happening to him? Did he hit his head when the soldier pinned him to the ground? Oh, how mean. Purity puffs her cheeks out a bit. You're totally my type, you know? Young but not unreasonably so. Cute and lively, too. Unfortunately, Overhaul will probably take you from me. She adds, with just a hint of a sadistic glee in her eyes. Rabbit can see only half of her face from his position, but he both recognizes it and doesn't. It's like his bull's eyes, but also something else. He doesn't like else. Purity steps aside and stands next to Rabbit. He can feel her fingers on his cheek. She lifts his head to look at him. That one's a bit too young looking, but if I guess he'll do. Rabbit doesn't like that. He hates that. He hates. Something changes. Something is strange. Something happened when she touched him. He isn't sure what, but wait. Is this Rabbit's quirk? Legion told him to tell him when he feels strange, but he can't do it right now. Is it his quirk? How to use it then? What does it do? He remembers that when other kids awakened their quirks, they could use them easily. Did Rabbit not get a manual or something? Touch him again and I'm going to murder you. Legion says while glaring at Purity with absolute fury in his eyes. Rabbit is shocked. Legion was serious. He likes Rabbit. He wouldn't say things like that if he didn't. Purity smacks her lips. Second or two later, the CRC soldier holding Legion smashes him into the ground. He yells in pain. No. So, what's your name, little one? Purity looks weirdly at Rabbit, and he decides that he is going to be like Legion. Legion is awesome. Rabbit will be like him. He will be brave. Drop D, dead. Rabbit manages to utter. Something inside him shifts. Static in his head lessens, and he feels lightheaded. Purity obediently falls to the ground like a marionette whose strings were cut, her face frozen. In a look of surprise. She isn't moving anymore. She isn't breathing. Rabbit is startled. What just happened? Did he just use his quirk? Soldiers around them scream in pain. Something is that Purity's quirk being torn away from them. The red-robed soldiers that arrived with her are influenced the most. They are vomiting blood around and squirming on the ground. Those that arrived later are weakened and confused, but are still standing. Legion is startled almost as much as Rabbit is. Rabbit didn't know that this was possible. Then again, he didn't think that him using a quirk was possible. Juggernaut stands up. The cultists that were holding him are incapacitated, so he pushes them aside, his fist landing on one of the still-standing soldiers. He immediately charges towards a man in the backline that Purity mentioned to be their warper. The few still conscious and fight-capable cultists rally around him, their only ticket out. Few more charges towards Juggernaut from the side. Toxicity seems to have regained her consciousness. She is still wobbly, but manages to push a button on her mask. It's a support item that Gremlin made for her. It kept filtrating her poison from her breath, gathering it in a concentrated form. Now it unleashes it as a cloud, enveloping the group about to attack Juggernaut. Enough to knock them out. Then she falls back to the ground, her strength spent. No! A woman shouts. The leader of the initial attack group. She is furious and tearful at the same time. Rabbit freezes when he realizes that she is pointing a gun at Legion. Rabbit tries to move. Do something. He can't. But then a thunder strikes. Something comes. Flying, almost too fast for Rabbit's eyes to follow. He sees something pink while the incoming object flies beside the woman with a gun. Blood gushes, and the upper half of her body drops to the ground. The pistol fires, but the bullet flies towards the skies, not wounding anyone. The projectile stops. Or, more like, crash lands 20 meters away from Rabbit. Rabbit stares in awe. He sees Gremlin rising from the smoke, looking like she went through a grinder. She is armed in a long sword, now covered with blood. Her face screams murder. Another figure is right beside. Rabbit recognizes Vampire. The two girls, despite being heavily wounded and battered, immediately leap at the nearest cultists. Juggernaut knocks out the warp quirk user. The 5 weakened cultists surrounding did their best, but it wasn't enough. Legion told them about the warp interference thing, so he knows. He has to be proactive. When the warp quirk man falls to the ground, Juggernaut's beating continues. Remaining cultists charge towards them. They know that it's over, that with Purity's death. And their quirk user being out, they can't hope to escape. They don't care. They want revenge. Juggernaut's strong enough. He kills the warp quirk user in time. A blood-red circle opens up mid-air, and Sunset steps through it. More of them begin to open around her, and Rabbit sees familiar faces emerging from it. He sighs with relief, and loses consciousness out of quirk exhaustion. Chapter end notes. I'm not pulling this out of an ass. You knew that he had a quirk brewing. And judging from the fact that while powerful and versatile, no, it's not a Death Note quirk or anything, it'll be explained in next chapter once Izuku has a moment to think about it. It's still far weaker than Ace's quirk from ties that bind and dead on arrival. The stressful and life-threatening situation has forced it to awaken ahead of schedule as an emergency survival measure. Before it fully developed, it'll probably have a semi-mandatory awakening to its full potential in a year or two, so after the story is concluded. Chapter summary. Bonds. The UA and the League of Villains are dealing with the aftermath of the assault on the High Cathedral. Chapter notes. See the end of the chapter 4. Notes. Small Might, time to reschedule the clash. Tin Can, what happened? Tin Can, I was worried. Small Might, too wasted for it. Small Might, CRC had a fucking warper. Small Might, warped Purity and 20 of her elites right into my command post. Small Might, just as another 60 regulars appeared out of nowhere under some detection. Suppressing quirk. Small Might, sending coordinates for you to pick up their corpses. Tin Can, Purity's dead. Small Might, completely. Small Might, my assistant got a fucking power-up by late blooming out of nowhere, when she was about to warp me to overhaul and killed her into super death. Small Might, this game has a fucked up plot OMG. Tin Can, assistant, Asa Naoki. Small Might, so you knew, heh. Small Might, yeah, Rabbit. We have second proof after Miruko that rabbits are nasty little fucks probably planning to end mankind. Small Might, sorry for excess swears but I just almost died and I'm dealing with some serious stress here. Tin Can, understandable. Small Might, I hope he'll say yes and Mom gets to adopt him. Small Might, I also hope you find and fucking murder whoever was in charge of CRC during that battle. Small Might, they are dangerous, and if they get back to overhaul we're fucked. Small Might, I sent 50 quirk clones I have left towards you as a clash we promised. Give them a good fight. Small Might, we're pulling the fuck out. We have too many wounds to patch. Tin Can, alright, good luck with that. Asterisk. I have an idea. Izuku announces. Mine's crew and Rabbit are the only people in the living room. The rest is either in their rooms, or still resting after the battle. It was a nasty battle, that's for certain. Legion messed it up. Still, Zealot's wish was fulfilled. Purity was dead. Heroes and the League swept through something like 80% of the creature Rejection clan, although the remnants probably escaped into the Paranormal Liberation Front's care. The Inhuman Supremacy Party announced that it joined the PLF one day after the battle. Sunset picked up Incense, Zealot's old acquaintance and the League's spy in the CRC from a place a few kilometers away from the battlefield, after she fled the CRC escape convoy in the confusion caused by the hero attack. So, They achieved something, but less than he hoped for. Vampire was probably still going to kill him over almost dying again, despite being the one who latched onto Gremlin when she powered up her jetpack and apparently flew over the forest at dangerous speed towards him, like some female Iron Man with mental issues. But, for now, both of them were still unconscious. Izuku found it miraculous that they managed to stand up and continue fighting for a while after that crash. Is it about my quirk? Rabbit asks. Legion is almost uncomfortable with how often he feels the kid's gaze on him. He finished narrating what he felt during his quirk activation, and Legion is probably the only person who knows what to expect from a Class 6 quirk. Namely, everything. Class 6 quirks by definition defied established logic of the world and all quirks. And while the idea he has is preposterous, it makes sense in the context. Yep, Legion says and smiles widely. They are all sitting in front of the TV, where the news anchor is narrating the results of the raid. The CRC is de facto down, Purity is dead, and the complex mutants throughout the country are probably celebrating. Can you please touch Mine's crew for me? Why am I supposed to be the lab rat in this? Hitoshi decides to be an ass about it. Are you going to have him kill me to prove a point? Izuku heard about his performance during the battle. He starts to suspect that Hitoshi decided that he likes killing people. His first kills were probably too emotionally satisfying. Another problem to face. Killing him once or twice would probably not straighten him out, though. If I'm right, he'll be your second most favorite member of the League after me. Legion promptly replies, Come on, don't be scared. Hitoshi sighs and extends his hand. Rabbit, obviously nervous about it, touches it. Nothing happens, but it's to be expected. This is, once again, if Legion is correct, an extremely powerful quirk, only the first half of the activation conditions. Don't say anything. Legion says and Rabbit nods furiously. Did you feel the same thing as with Purity when she touched you? Rabbit nods. This means that his quirk has just locked onto Hitoshi, marking him as a potential target. It's like with Sir Nightye's foresight, which requires him to touch someone first and then look them in the eyes. Although the second condition is a bit different. Now say, well rested. Well rested. Rabbit obediently says. Hitoshi exhales deeply as something in him changes. The bags under his eyes decline in size and intensity. The look of his eyes sharpen, in a way. He is startled by the change. Legion chuckles. He has a confirmation. And this is one of the coolest quirks he ever heard about. All Class 6 are super cool. What? Mine's crew is still startled. What just happened? Rabbit looks at Legion for answers. Alteration of states of living organisms. Legion replies with a smile. Rabbit looks adorably confused when he is trying to unpack his words. Total command over the status conditions. To speak in Tenko's terms, when you touch someone, you mark them for your quirk. Then, you need to clearly say what's the desired state. When you told Purity to drop dead, your quirk read the latter word and altered her state to that of being dead. When you told Hitoshi, well rested, your quirk instantly alleviated his symptoms of not sleeping enough, rendering him well rested. Oh. Hitoshi stares at them both. Okay, now I understand why you said that he is going to be my second favorite member. Rabbit isn't and won't be your personal anti-insomnia medications. Legion decides to complain. Come on, using such an awesome quirk for something like this is a waste. Also, you're supposed to tell me if you feel changes vanish. We need to gauge the details of this quirk before we move over to teaching Rabbit how to control it properly. Hitoshi appears, completely betrayed by his words. Also, Rabbit, you need to figure out how to name your quirk. So, total command. Rabbit says and practically beams. Izuku recognizes his earlier words. Does Rabbit look up to him that much now? The soon-to-be symbol of evil is deeply confused. What exactly did change? Well, why not? Izuku says. Rabbit beams once again, and even more this time. Izuku starts to feel the heavy burden of being looked up to by a younger sibling, despite Rabbit not being his younger sibling. They have to do so many tests now. Legion sir. Rabbit suddenly amps up the shyness factor. Can we, talk in private for a second? Asterisk. Rabbit says yes. Izuku is almost floating under the ceiling when that adorable mass of anxiety, that also looks like Legion's second coming, says that he is willing to give the concept of family a second chance if it means that he'll have Izuku as an older brother. He fails to stop himself and hugs Rabbit tightly, which, all things considered, was a SOSO idea considering Rabbit's quirk. Thankfully they quickly discover that saying unchanged safely disconnects Rabbit from other people. Izuku, I did it. Cat thief, what did you do this time, Izuku? Cat thief, you just opened a chat for us three, so I'm just slightly worried. Cat thief, your dad is playing with Eri downstairs, so give him a moment to join. Izuku, okay. Demon Lord, I'm free for a moment. What happened? Izuku, oh there you are. Izuku, I'm going to have a little brother. Cat thief, oh. Demon Lord, wait, Inko, you are pregnant. Cat thief, there have been a worrying, miscommunication. Izuku, you didn't tell him. Demon Lord, tell me what? Cat thief, Izuku approached me with an offer to adopt his new assistant. Cat thief, I said that I'm willing to consider it. Cat thief, I assume that the assistant in question said yes. Demon Lord, oh. Demon Lord, would be nice to be informed before getting the papers done, you know. That. Izuku, she was probably running DNA tests on him in secret to find out if you cheated on her. With his mother. Demon Lord, what? Izuku, but you still have your eyes, so I guess you passed. Demon Lord, explanations, please. Izuku, he has messy, black, hair, light freckles, is even smaller than me, is a late bloomer. Awoke a quirk literally yesterday, has a brain to match me, needs a lot of training, confidence and experience, but eventually he is going to be Sir Night-Eye to my Nedzu, watch. My words, and loves quirks. Izuku, literally everyone who sees me thinks he is my blood relative because he is so similar to me. Demon Lord, I understand the DNA tests then. Demon Lord, but if I was insane enough to cheat on a woman who literally stole my heart, when we met for the first time, I wouldn't be capable of ruling Japan for 2 centuries. Izuku, oh, yeah, I almost forgot that. Startling her by your surprising appearance was a bad idea for someone this intimidating, wasn't it? Demon Lord, thankfully I had a regeneration quirk. And she apologized. I think I fell in love. At that moment. To almost kill me with such a simple quirk honed to such a perfect level of ability, that was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. Until our eyes met. Izuku, Dad PLS. Demon Lord, let your dad embarrass you occasionally. It's not like I have a lot of occasions for that. And it's part of being a father, yes? Izuku, being a boomer asterisk. Demon Lord, do not cite the deep magic to me, son. Demon Lord, I was there when it was written. Demon Lord, well, almost, I was born in 2020. Demon Lord, it was, objectively speaking, the worst thing that happened to the world that. Yeah, though it took a while for people to realize that. Izuku, what? Wait, did you just use some antique meme on me, Dad? Demon Lord, speaking about quirks, what's the one that this kid has? Izuku, yes, ignore me. Izuku, why am I not surprised with you asking about that? Izuku, also is my mom crying? Demon Lord, she almost stopped crying about the adoption bit, then she started crying about the eyes and heart bit. I can hear her from here. Give her a moment. Now, quirk. Izuku, LOL. Izuku, wait for it. Demon Lord. Izuku, it's ACLASSSIX quirk. Demon Lord. Izuku, he named it Total Command. 2-step activation, touch plus vocal command. Izuku, he can freely alter the state of whoever he touches. Izuku, he killed Purity with his first activation because she got touchy with him when she captured us, very briefly, Mom don't cry, and he shouted at her to drop dead, so his quirk turned her state to that of being dead. Demon Lord, Purity dead because she got touchy with a captive. Demon Lord, this is funny to me. Demon Lord, I told her that would be her end at some point. People like her just refuse to listen to reason. Cat thief, how am I supposed to not see RY at this? Izuku, he also turned Mind's crew well rested, and then proved that he can also alter emotional states by turning Mind's crew happy and sad, although those are very fleeting. Then he said poisoned, and Hitoshi started to feel really bad until he used another command to undo that state. Cat thief, Izuku, baby, please do not use your friends as test subjects. Izuku, sorry but I got really excited. Izuku, I also had him turn me healthy after I scratched myself, and the wound disappeared. But I suspect that larger changes like that will tire him out a lot. Demon Lord, if it didn't tire him out, that quirk would be beyond Class 6. Demon Lord, so emotional states, easy but temporary. Demon Lord, lesser biological states, such as well-rested or poisoned, which doesn't. Necessitates changes of your body structure, just of hormones, energy levels, and so on, semi-permanent in that well-rested lasts until you stay awake for too long. Demon Lord, and then greater biological states, so those that require major changes to your body, such as healing wounds or ending life. Ironically, the latter might be a lesser state if it just stops the heartbeat. Demon Lord, what about states without basis in biology? Have him touch you and say, weightless. Cat thief, just don't float out of the window or something, please. Izuku, IT works. Izuku, IT works. Demon Lord, this is phenomenal. Izuku, I know. Cat thief, sigh, you two are unbelievable. Demon Lord, this is a quirk to equal rewind. Izuku, wait, I just had an idea. Two actually. Demon Lord. Izuku, okay, turns out that quirk resistant is a state too. Izuku, so his quirk can alter the functionalities of other quirks, probably explains the class 6 status. Demon Lord, are you serious? Izuku, yeah, he used it on Hitoshi and it turned out that I can't even attempt to steal his quirk. For a while, though like most more complicated states I think that there is a time limit to that. Will probably grow with training. And it probably won't do a lot to, for example, physical. Strengthening quirk uses punching you. Izuku, plus I think that there is a limit to one altered state per person at any given moment. Second one overrides the first one. Izuku, makes you wonder about the reaction to quirkless state or SMTH like that. It would probably suppress activation of quirks until another state would overwrite it. Izuku, test number 2. Izuku, oh my god, the verbal component works through a phone. Izuku, just touch someone and you can kill him or make him float or whatever else through a phone call. Izuku, this is brilliant. Demon Lord, WHY wasn't he around when I ruled the Underworld? Demon Lord, I could kill All Might by sending him to a handshake event with Yagi Toshinori and then phoning him. Demon Lord, damn it. Izuku, I'm like 99% sure that One for All has some sort of increased resistance towards quirks like that, you know? Demon Lord, let your old man have his dreams, please. Demon Lord, and, of course, if he is as similar to you as you claim, I'm entirely supportive of the adoption. Cat thief, Eri will be overjoyed to have another family member and her happiness is my happiness in Japanese. Izuku, I know, Mom. Demon Lord, please don't put it like that. Cat thief, you want me to lie. Demon Lord, well, no. Cat thief, then stop. Demon Lord, yes, Inko. Izuku, alright GTG, have fun being the head of the house, I'll bring Asa to meet you. Tomorrow. Demon Lord, was that about me? Cat thief, there should be a limit to fantasies, Hisoshi. *****. An hour later Tenko and Suto Shimura left their room. Tenko only suffered some minor scratches. His reflex and speed were phenomenal and long ago approached superhuman status. He couldn't dodge a bullet, but he could certainly make sure that no one had time to target him. Suto had a nasty slash wound that was already patched, and was deeply shaken. Izuku was shaken by what she told him as well. *****. Small Might, sorry for interrupting our little talk about the events of the battle. Small Might, I was just visited by young Shimuras. Small Might, I know what happened. And I demand explanations. Tintin-can, I'm trying to find some myself. Small Might, you are supposed to be a hero. Small Might, you recognized Suto as a member of the League when she said that her name is Suto Shimura. Small Might, I understand that I told it to you in secrecy, more like, told it to Nana. Small Might, but why did you let her go? Small Might, you were supposed to try to apprehend her. Small Might, she is a villain, damn it. Small Might, small time but still. Tintin-can, I don't know why I did it. Tintin-can, shit. Tintin-can, I know I should have arrested her. Tintin-can, sure, I initially thought that she was a victim of CRC that escaped during your attack. Tintin-can, she was cut nastily and, well, the acid splashes. Tintin-can, it was weird that she was right next to the battlefield, where we attacked the convoy that you were pushing towards us. Tintin-can, I tried to calm her and asked her for her name. She answered. Tintin-can, Then puff and my brain stopped working. Tin Can. I told her to leave because there is battle going on and she leapt away from me. Tin Can. Small Might, if you are going to get too influenced by me, stop. Small Might, it's bad enough that I got influenced by you. Tin Can. What? Small Might, who do you think gave me the idea to become the symbol of evil? Tin Can. What? Small Might, I heard your analysis of me being a hero with villainous methods. Nedzu office. Was wiretapped back then, remember? Small Might, until then I was just circling around, not sure what my end goal actually is. Small Might, I talked about demolishing Japan in a controlled way as the only fix to it at this point in shit. Small Might, I had a will to act, but no long-term idea of how to achieve that. Small Might, Stain apparently considered killing me after the meeting due to that, but decided to stick around to see what will sprout from this mess. Small Might, I wanted to achieve it all, but was like yuck my father and his legacy. Small Might, then I heard you saying the hero with villainous means stuff. Small Might, and everything clicked in. Small Might, I decided that I want to be a hero-villain like that, but if I'm going to, I should go with full dedication and will rather than accept half-assed measures. Small Might, so I decided to accept said legacy as a mean towards my goal. Small Might, I needed to have a serious talk with Stain to finally voice what my actual opinion was, even before myself. Small Might, if you need a kick from me to get to the point like I got a kick from you, then I'm all for it. Small Might, so get your ass to Sir Night Eye, have a serious talk about what you actually want with all of that. Small Might, you are supposed to be a hero, damn it. Figure out what that words mean to yourself just as I figured out what the word villain means to myself. Small Might, our talks and playing video games are on hold until you write to me in a way that will make me believe that you know where you are standing. Tin Can, all right. Small Might, one last thing before that, though, the enemy strategist. Tin Can, a lot of cultists blew themselves up to slow us down. We believe that he and at least 3 other CRC bishops, stupid designation TBH, fled. What about your source in the CRC? Small Might, she is in the base RN. I'll ask her in a second and send you a summary. It's been a busy day. Small Might, also Asa Naoki is now officially Asa Midoriya. Tin Can, just give your surname to everyone in the league already. Small Might, just talk to Sir Night Eye already. Tin Can, Asterisk. Mr. Principal, I'd like to congratulate everyone involved in our recent operation against the Creature Rejection Clan. According to the current reports, we have killed or arrested no less than 3,320 active members of the CRC. The organization is down by about 80% of members and has lost their bases, their money, their equipment and their leader. Angry Rabbit, fucking awesome. Killer Whale, yes. Tintin, yes. I cast Fist, acceptable. Unlike the nicknames. Mr. Principal, what's more, we suffered almost no casualties, there are some wounded, but, as a whole, they will be able to return to active service. Cat's Coffin app, get used to it, Knuckle Duster. It's Nedzu's idea of humor. Mr. Principal, simply speaking this is a phenomenal achievement. Deadpan Stalker, could get a worse nickname, Vigilante. I cast Fist. Mizzy Razorhead, WHY is MY nickname like this. Also WTF I love your nicknames. Knuckle and Sir. Super Punch, because you keep proposing to him? Mizzy Razorhead, but he keeps saying no. Crying Face. I cast Fist, and that's where the joke is in, I guess. Mizzy Razorhead, you understand humor. I cast Fist, no but I can find it. I cast Fist, I need to find things to be able to punch them. Fashionable 8, HMPH. Raisingen, about the nicknames thing, I have some things to say. And they aren't positive. Super cool, they are super cool. Deadpan Stalker, can we please return to the subject? Deadpan Stalker, if there is one. Deadpan Stalker, anyone has anything to add about the operation? Tintin, I might have something to add. Tintin, few things in fact. Angry Rabbit, oh? Tintin, it's what Legion told me, to reiterate. Tintin, CRC had a commanding officer that at the very plays in the same league as Nedzu. Sir Night Eye and Legion. Tintin, he actually managed to almost take down the League of Villains, despite total surprise of the attack. Tintin, willing to lose lots of people if it means getting the job done, gather intel for another attack, used like 30 of his people to draw in the League before blowing them all up remotely. Tintin, Legion caught him off guard by having additional warp user, and then decimated half of CRC forces. But then the mysterious commander pulled a general retreat and had the League's forces pursue him only for 60+ Clannis to attack Legion's command post under some detection-suppressing quirk, and then Purity and her Praetorian Guard warped through an unregistered warp quirk right on top of them while they were repelling the first attack. Mr. Principal, oh dear, that's unexpected. Deadpan Stalker, what's wrong with this country nowadays? You can't throw a rock without hitting a warp quirk user, impossibly competent scientist, and a genius strategist, and all three will be villains. Angry Rabbit, it's called few decades of governmental fucking neglect, and it's curable, at least in theory. But the therapy tends to be painful. I cast fist, yes. Cat's coffin app, how did they manage to recover from that attack? Tintin, apparently by complete accident. Tintin, they captured Legion and everyone else present in the command center, only for Asa Naoki to suddenly late bloom and one-hit kill Purity with his quirk. Deadpan Stalker, what? Tintin, I know nothing about the quirk in question or what happened to Rabbit afterwards. However, Mr. Principal, oh dear. Tintin, save for the fact that Asa Naoki is now Asa Midoriya, as he apparently agreed to be adopted by Mischief. Mr. Principal, somewhere out there is a world where Midoriya Izuku gathered all those wonderful, brilliant, and dangerous young people together, and then, before committing his first public murder, asked me to open the Villain of Vigilante Rehabilitation class for them. Mr. Principal, I'm an extremely happy rat Abero Mouser principal in that world. Cat's coffin app, and I'm an extremely unhappy teacher because knowing you I'd have to help in their rehabilitation program without bonus pay. Mr. Principal, teaching isn't a job. It's a calling. Cat's coffin app, do you want me to call the journalists and talk with them about your approach to your workforce? Mr. Principal, no need to get so confrontative, erase ahead. Tintin, can I continue, please? Mr. Principal, but of course. Tintin, Legion confirms the death of both the CRC Warper, he wasn't a strong one, needed more than 10 minutes of recharging after bringing Purity's strike force, and it wasn't a far warp, and the detection suppressor. Tintin, villain names of Long Step and Silence. Tintin, another of the Purity's close lieutenant, Incense, is missing due to being the League spy and being evacuated from the battlefield. Class 3 healing quirk, an A. Reasonably qualified doctor. Tintin, based on her knowledge, the strategist I mentioned is Mastermind. 17 years old, apparently Purity's son that she planned to make into her successor. Class 4 or 5. Intelligence quirk, late bloomer as well. Purity kept him largely isolated until recently, and Incense doesn't know much. Real name and surname unknown. Mr. Principal, potential Class 5 intelligence quirk. That's extremely worrying. Deadpan Stalker, to say the least. Mr. Principal, I hope that Izuku recruits him for UA in that another world I mentioned. Deadpan Stalker, please stop daydreaming. Tintin, if he didn't die anonymously somewhere, he retreated with the remnants of the CRC. To join the Paranormal Liberation Front, how they will work along ISP is anyone's guess. Together with A-rank villains, Pain, melee fighter with ability to amplify pain felt by people. He comes into physical contact with an infection, can infect others with a fast-acting and debilitating disease with symptoms resembling pneumonia that vanishes when she leaves the range. Tintin, until Mastermind is ready, infection is supposed to be in charge of the CRC. Remnants. Mr. Principal, I will contact the Hero Commission and request Mastermind to be ranked as a supervillain. Mr. Principal, if Midoriya Izuku taught us something, it's the fact that if you let people like that grow, you are going to regret it immensely. Super Punch, the only thing you regret about Midoriya is not offering him to join UA under false name before he massacred that first CRC base. Mr. Principal, that's not entirely incorrect. Fashionable late. Raisingen. I cast fist. Mr. Eraserhead. Deadpan Stalker. Tintin, that would actually be kinda cool. Deadpan Stalker, Mirio no. Tintin, Mirio yes. Super cool. This idea is actually kinda cool and I agree with you. Tintin. Super cool. I would prefer to have Legion on our side just slightly more officially. Super cool. IT appears to be safer. Mr. Principal, someone finally understands me. Angry Rabbit. This conversation is a fucked up burning mess and I'm having other things to do. Tintin, same. Tintin at Deadpan Stalker, I have something important to talk about. Some private issue. Can I drop by your agency now? Deadpan Stalker, of course. Chapter End Notes. 1. Rabbit's quirk was designed before Star and Stripe showed up in canon. Yes, I know it's a bit similar. The difference is that total command's limited to status condition, but on the other hand, you could technically boost a 2-digit number of people with some empowering statuses. Think powerful to boost your quirk and physical strength up, or if you go against people like Endeavor, Fireproof, etc. It also has a small degree of reality warping included, as why it's not mentioned here, but probably will be in answering the call once I write it. Giving someone a free status condition undoes not only mind control quirks but also physical bindings. 2. It's not fully developed due to being awoken in a life-threatening situation, slightly ahead of schedule, as stated in the last chapter. Rabbit's quirk in other stories from that series are significantly stronger, allowing him to put his status conditions onto himself, or being permanent, although permanent until the connection lasts, so 24h and less touched. Again in that period to reset the counter, and not with some of the strongest status conditions like imperceptible or invincible, which still have a timer. Healthy still works. Best on diseases and scratches though, it's not rewind. 3. NGL, Izuku, and All for One geeking about the quirk together sort of warms my heart. Before I remember how many people the latter killed to obtain their cool quirks. Then, it starts being a bit questionable. 4. Contrary to popular opinions, Total Command isn't a reference to that one fic, because I dropped it rather quickly for a multitude of reasons, and I don't understand the hype. Chapter Summary. Adoption. Lemillion deals with his problems. Asa joins Midoriya family. Hisoshi decides to use the G word. Chapter Notes. See the end of the chapter 4. Notes. I did something during the battle. Mirio admits. Sir Night Eye, as always, is unreadable. But Lemillion has his full attention. They are in Sir's personal office in his agency. Alone. Save for the All Might's faces gawking at them from every wall. I'm not sure what to think about this. Legion ended up calling me out on this and told me to go talk with you and figure myself out. So, here I am. His face is clouded. And I'm here for you, Mirio. Sir replies. He is worried, of course. He is often worried, but always supportive, and Mirio will never forget that. What happened? During the CRC attack, I was in a position to apprehend a member of the League of Villains. Mirio admits. Sir stares, his face unreadable. They both know that the cooperation between League and UA is on a strategic level. There was a reason why Midoriya visited the War Council in a form that made him impossible to arrest. But I let them go. You wouldn't do such a thing without a reason. Sir says. Mirio expects scorn on his face. But there is none. Only attention. So why did you do this? During the recent meeting of the War Council, I noticed that Nedzu was lying when he spoke about decay. Mirio decides to describe everything from the start. I spend enough time with Detective Tsukochi to be able to read him sensibly. And he looked at Nedzu and flinched slightly. Mirio clenches his teeth for a second. He is deeply uncomfortable. Legion told me earlier to not look into decay. That finding out who he truly is would hurt many heroes that don't deserve to be hurt. I consider this my job to confirm the things he tells me about as much as possible, to look for signs of him being like his father. So I confronted Nedzu about it, and he told me the truth. Mirio sighs painfully. All things considered, this was a mistake. And now he is going to have to share this with Sir. No other way for him to truly understand what happened. He can't help Mirio if he won't know what actually happened. At least Sir wasn't on the list of people to be truly hurt by the truth. What did you find? Sir asks him. That Decay's true name is Tenko Shimura. Something in Sir's face shifts. He is Nana, Shimura's grandson and her only remaining blood relative. Nana heard all of that. She refuses to speak with anyone, even other heroes in the One for All since then. Nedzu didn't know that she lives in my head. I should have asked you to confirm Legion's words. That was indeed unfortunate. Sir replies. Now his face is clouded too. They can't know. All Might and, especially, Gran Torino. It would kill him. Mirio nods. Gran Torino is a tough one, but he is exhausted by his grievous wounds, and he was probably even closer to Nana than All Might. Was it Decay? No, Mirio shakes his head. Even knowing the truth, he would try to apprehend Decay. That man was too dangerous to be left out there. It's a bit more complicated. When I told Legion what happened, he freaked out. He asked me to promise him that I won't share what he says with anyone else, to pretend that all he said was said directly to Nana. Cat's out of the bag now, so he shrugs slightly. The crucial part was the one when he admitted that the League got some new recruits. Interns from Kurogiri's academy, I believe. One of them was a girl, whom life messed up just as much as it did Tenko. Legion said that it was like two broken half-people discovering that if together they make for a single functional person. After years of being a deranged mass murderer, Nana's grandson found someone he genuinely cares about, someone he loves. Legion even said that when they are together, he sees Tenko Shimura rather than Decay for the first time in his life. And you ran into her? Sir asks. Mirio nods. Yes. Lemillion adds. A complex mutant quirk girl, 17 to 18 years old. Mostly human, but with some wolf features, like a tail and ears. Someone must have poured acid over her at some point. Seems to have covered her face with her hand enough to protect eyes, nose and mouth, but the cheeks are rather horrible to look at. Right hand went through the same thing, and I think that chest and abdomen was scarred like that too. I thought that she was a CRC captive that escaped during the attack, but Mirio sighs. Legion said that Tenko married that girl the next day after meeting her, and gave her his surname because her own carried some bad memories. I asked that wolf girl about her name, and she said that she is Suto Shimura. So I pretended that I still think that she is an escaped captive and told her to get out of the battlefield. There are a few seconds of silence in the room. Sir is considering something. He isn't the most expressive of people, but Mirio knows him enough to read some things. Sometimes. This is one of them. I'd have let her go too. Sir finally says. Mirio jerks his head up and stares at his mentor in disbelief. That's the last thing he expected to hear when he came to Sir's agency. But why? Mirio asks. Perhaps he will discover his reason by listening to Sir. Night Eyes. For two reasons. Sir replies. First, the more rational one, is the fact that Tenko Shimura is a weapon of mass destruction in certain circumstances. Taking away his emotional crutch before he is safely incarcerated might have backfired spectacularly. Mirio didn't think of this. Legion is keeping him on a leash, and I prefer to have him still on it than to have him go renegade, especially if it means him going on a rampage because the heroes took his other half from him. He should be incarcerated at the same time as his wife or before her to avoid that, especially as said wife practically lacks a criminal record, making her not a priority target. This isn't Mirio's reason. He knows that, but he agrees with Sir's reasoning. He didn't think of it earlier, but this makes a lot of sense. Second reason, the one I believe you'll agree more with, is a villain called Crucible. Sir, says, and Mirio is confused. He never heard of such a villain. He's an A-rank villain, who went missing 4 years ago. Thug, but a quite smart one. Killed a few people during this career. Still technically wanted, though he is a cold case. I found him 3 years ago, but you are the second person to learn about that. You didn't arrest him. Mirio stares at his mentor as if he met him for the first time. More than that. Sir replies. I destroyed the evidence that could point towards him. Mirio stays with his jaw dropped. Crucible is a victim of discrimination. His quirk was perceived as villainous, and he ended up joining the bad crowd. He disappeared because together with 3 other members of his former gang he fled his hometown to the other end of Japan and set up an orphanage, perhaps as a means of atonement, or perhaps to give children like him the things that his own childhood lacked. I cannot tell. I never talked with him, and he doesn't know that I found him. But I did investigate the orphanage from the grounds up and ruled out any form of foul play. I know that he genuinely cares about the kids under his care. If I acted according to the letter of law, I'd have ruined the lives of 15 children. Quirkless, with complex mutant quirks or with quote-unquote villainous quirks. Children that no one else was willing to help. So I didn't. Crucible probably still wonders what is the source of the anonymous donations that keep his orphanage floating. But, didn't you say that law is important? Mirio feels that he agrees with Sir when it comes to what he did. But, it's so out of character. He doesn't know what to think about it. You pretty much went into a shouting match with Miruko over this. I did. And yes, the law is important. Sir says with a nod. Law is the framework of society. If everyone acted however they pleased, there would be no society left. I'm a part of generally understood law enforcement. Defending the law is my job. But I also believe that law without mercy is a tyranny. And I know that laws do not define what is good and evil. I have a conscience of my own. I assure you that if the commission managed to ban marriages between the quirkless and the quirk tomorrow and told me to look for people breaking the law, I'd tell it to shove it and start secretly supporting the quirkless equality movement. Mirio simply stares, his eyes open wide. My argument with Miruko had less to do with me disagreeing with the notion that conscience precedes the law, at least in some cases, and more with the fact that someone like Heir, a public figure, one of the strongest heroes and a symbol for the complex mutants out there, shouldn't speak of the law like that in the open, even in a meeting like this. We have enough people disregarding the law already, and way too many looking down on heroes. He sighs. Although it's probably easy for me to say, since I'm not a victim of discrimination like she is. Mirio suddenly remembers Legion telling him to figure out what the word hero means to him. Himself telling the people gathered in Nedzu's office, and, apparently Legion, about Legion being a hero with villainous methods, and that being a villain for him is changing the world through using your quirk. What does being a hero mean for Mirio? When he said that Legion was hero with villain means, what did he mean by hero? Defeating other villains? Endeavor and Thunderbolt did this too, and he struggles to call them heroes. They may have been ones by profession, but there were heroes in this world before the profession. There were heroes in this world before the quirks. Sure, they saved people, but is that all there is to heroism? Things start to click one by one. The things that he wasn't sure how to describe now have names. The disjointed mess of connections in his mind is untangled. The coast is clear. I think I let her go, Mirio says. Sir is silent, waiting for the answer to come from Lemillion's mouth. He probably knows it already, but also knows that it has to be said. Because I knew about Tenko's past, and I knew that hers was just as bad. And I believed that they both deserve a second, no, probably the first chance. A chance that the law will never give them. So if I wanted to save them, I had to break it. And I care more about saving people that no one else can save than I do about the law, he sighs. Though it is important to me, as well. Tenko Shimura greatly helped in that decision by killing other murderers rather than innocent people. Trying to help him was one thing, risking the lives of civilians and heroes to do that was something else. It wasn't even an option. Mirai, naturally, knows that. Sir's faint smile that popped up after his first words grew significantly after the last add-on. Yes, Mirio. He replies finally. Eventually we'll have to arrest them. Sure, some courts look less angrily at villains killing other villains than when civilians are involved. But murder is still murder. However, his traumatic past and clear mental issues are attenuating circumstances. Perhaps if given some time, Tenko Shimura will understand his wrongs. A person capable of proving that they want to get better will stay behind the bars much less long than a raving monster incapable of empathy, shouting at everyone that he will murder them. Sir sighs. That's, at least, if you are willing to trust Legion's words on this. And you are willing to risk the backlash if your decision backfires on you or some innocents. Lemillion is surprised by this fact. But he is willing to. Legion is hiding things from him. But that's understandable. Mirio is hiding things from him too. But both do that by either not mentioning things at all, or by saying openly that they aren't going to say a thing. Lying is oddly absent. The backlash is harder to accept. But sometimes he has to draw a line somewhere, if only to let himself sleep soundly at night. And thus far Decay's victims are almost uniformly monsters wearing human skins. You know, I plan to sever your contact with him. Sir says, surprising Mirio once again. But to my surprise, he is a positive influence on you. You are asking questions that you wouldn't have a few months ago, and find the right answers for yourself. The school and I gave you the necessary skills and fostered idealism. But now you are confronting the real world. One where things are much more grayer than you used to think. And it only seems to be making you stronger. There is a smile. One wider than Sir normally shows. Don't lose what you gained today, all right. He isn't planning to. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Small Might, I kinda expected you to spend a few days mulling it over. Small Might, rather than send me 5 pages long essay on your new outlook on heroism and morality in like half a day. Tintin can. Tintin can. Plus ultra. Small Might, OFFS. Small Might, but also. Small Might, this is awesome. Tintin can. Hair. Tintin can. Were you afraid that I'm getting too influenced by you and my resolve for heroism is waning? Small Might, actually, somewhat. Small Might, don't get me wrong, if there is a world where I become a hero you're probably my favorite senpai. Small Might, I really respect you, and I think that All Might choose super well. Small Might, but that's the point, I respect you due to you being an awesome true hero. Small Might, you no longer being an awesome true hero would be, yeah. Tintin can, ha, fool. Tintin can, you never saw how anime protags return from every moment of doubt thrice as decided on achieving their goal. Small Might, yeah sorry forgot about that. Small Might, so, a hero who is willing to save even the villains if he can, and is more neutral, good than lawful good. Small Might, that's quite admirable. Tintin can, understanding my enemies and their motivations makes sense. And I'm not blind to the fact that there are villains that cannot be in any way reasoned with. Tintin can, like, sorry to say it, but I can't imagine your father going to a rehab. Small Might, I can. Tintin can, if your mom forced him. Small Might, that too. Small Might, I kinda think that in his own way he loved us. It's hard to summarize it all. But, I mean, Midoriya Inko chokeholded him into unconsciousness in front of Kurogiri, mind you, and he didn't take revenge on her. And he kept overreacting to me. Having issues in school. Small Might, my working theory is that family started as a distraction, 2 centuries of ruling. Must take its toll on you, even if it's your hobby. But at some point he just grew into it. Actually spent a lot of his time with us, despite waging a war against Nedzu and Sir. Small Might, sometimes I wish he just retired and stayed with us. Small Might, despite the, tens of thousands of people he killed or died due to his orders in the past that he should probably answer for. Small Might, I kinda try to not think about this, eh? Tintin can, alright, so. Tintin can, muscular. Small Might, fuck that guy. Tintin can, XD. Tintin can, I could use the O word, but that would be too much. Small Might, yes. Tintin can, so what are your future plans? Small Might, I need to introduce Asa to his new mom and sister. And boy if this isn't going to be a hard thing to achieve without him freaking out, detonating a smoke bomb and vanishing on us. Small Might, today he listed the things he prepared in case I was planning to steal his quirk. Tintin can, he knew he had a quirk brewing. Small Might, yeah because I planned to give him one of my minor quirks just to deal with. Acute anxiety and self-worth issues due to quirklessness, bought, not stolen, but turned out that he has something inside. Small Might, and holy shit that kid would have probably managed to escape from us all. He even pieced out a small bomb from some kitchen or bathroom supplies. Small Might, rabbit is scary. Tintin can, so I heard. Small Might, as for other plans. Small Might, we're officially welcoming new members of the League, in turns they might be. But they are a family after the shit they pulled out during Purity's attack on my command post. Small Might, and I still need to address what 2 of my harem members did, but I'm waiting until they wake up. Tintin can, tell me. Small Might, they were away from me when the attack started, and Gremlin went berserk. Fired up her jetpack, with Vampire latching onto her. Flew over the forest with a high speed. Towards me. Got right in time. Silence was about to shoot me, but they just flew past her. With Gremlin severing her in half with a sword that she was carrying and the momentum of her crazy flight. Small Might, then they crash-landed. Small Might, real hard. Small Might, but immediately stood up and charged at the clan members closest to me. Small Might, then passed out from exhaustion caused by their flight just as sunset started. Warping reinforcements. Tintin can, marry Gremlin. Small Might, what? Tintin can, she is like a female Tenko that can probably build a nuclear bomb from scrap. And she has a crush on you. I prefer her happy with her life, also, As Tenko established, love redeems, instead of having more training camp moments. Tintin can, so I'm now totally supportive of her attempts to join your harem, but it's mostly my self-preservation instinct speaking. Small Might, I hate you. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. D. Do you think they will like me? Rabbit asked quietly. They were having some few last choice words before Kurogiri warps them to Izuku's house. Rabbit is, of course, extremely nervous about the whole affair. They are in the living room. It changed. Tenko is still playing his video games, rarely alone, though, but has begun to spend a lot of time in the corner of the room, with a woo, doing something crazily precious. Right now she is sitting on his lap, working on his rather awful skin on the face. It's part of his quirk. His skin dries easily and Tenko didn't care about it at all. Now he has an awoo to apply some cream into it, slowly and deliberately, while the man himself is busy staring intently at the girl right in front of him. He doesn't say things, but she knows that he simply loves watching her, because he thinks that she is the most beautiful person ever. Izuku can feel Awoo's confidence grow point by point from this. They appear unable to notice the world around them. He sometimes wishes they stop being so precious. They are really making the atmosphere weird sometimes. It's a villain lair, damn it. Okay, let's start from the fact that Mom already likes you. Izuku promptly replies, ignoring Tenko and his preciousness entirely. If anything, be worried about her spoiling you too much. My sister likes absolutely everyone, and I mean it. She knows she'll get another family member and she loves the idea. We explained to her that she shouldn't get too touchy, and she understands that. She wasn't used to physical contact at first. The only problem might be my father. The quirk thief. Yeah, Rabbit's eyes make it obvious that he is afraid of his soon-to-be father. Izuku isn't surprised. Not with how insecure Asa is about his quirk. He isn't going to take your quirk. Izuku informs his younger brother. Those two words, younger brother, are simply a wonderful combination. He stopped taking quirks at all. But he is sometimes rather intimidating. Not on purpose. A bit like Stain. They both shudder at the memory of Rabbit's first meeting with Stain. The kid actually almost got a heart attack. They didn't see each other at the academy, so the first meeting was rather painful and surprising. But he knows that you are rather jumpy, so he'll give you some space. Izuku adds, but if some of this intimidation slips out, then Rabbit will be brave. Asa announces with a look of decisiveness on his face. He is looking up to Izuku, in more ways than one. Izuku feels the heavy burden of that. Very well then. Izuku replies with a smile. Onwards to an adventure. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The house is big. Rabbit never saw houses as big as this one, save for the ones on the TV. It's a bit scary. But, then again, this means a lot of places to hide if he doesn't feel safe. Yes? He likes that. No one in sight. Suddenly his anxiety spikes. Rabbit forgot about something. Izuku. He isn't used to referring to Legion, SSS rank villain, like that. But he is his brother now. He should get used to it. I have a question. Yes. Izuku stops and turns his head to look at Rabbit. How am I, supposed to refer to them? He isn't sure if he knows. Mom. And, Dad. I'm not sure yet if I feel, alright with that. I mean, I'm all for it. But Asa. Izuku says, and Rabbit stops talking. It took us close to a year for Eri to get comfortable enough with us to start calling us her mom, dad, and brother. Say whatever you feel okay with, they'll understand. Rabbit understands. Or, more like, trusts Izuku. Izuku was captured by his enemy and told that he would be brought to an even worse enemy of his, but he still told Purity to leave Rabbit alone, and then got wounded due to that. He wouldn't do that if he was pretending to be his friend. After that, Rabbit decided that he wants to be more like Izuku. He was smart, he was brave, he was confident, he was all that Rabbit wasn't but wanted to be. Rabbit will do it. Rabbit won't do it. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Izuku's father is massive and scary. He is only standing there, on the other end of the room. And Rabbit already feels like he is about to die. He is smiling, and this smile doesn't seem scary at the glance, but Rabbit is scared. Very much so. He makes a step back, partially hiding behind Izuku. Izuku actually moves a bit, to let him hide some more. Rabbit is happy about this. What he doesn't expect is mischief appearing out of nowhere and starting to beat the scary man with a rolled newspaper. Stop bam scaring bam my new bam child bam Hisoshi. Stop doing that to me every time someone comes to visit us. The scary man shouts back and jumps to the side, the couch partially hiding him from mischief. You're overreacting. No, I am not. Mischief shouts back. Rabbit decides that he just met the second most awesome person in his life after Izuku. Toxicity and Juggernaut are awesome too, and his friends, but this is an entirely different level of awesome. He stares at her in awe. I'm sorry about that, Asa, or do you prefer Rabbit? Mischief asks, while approaching him. She kneels in front of him, lowering herself to his level. He knows he uses the latter outside. A lot. Way too much. But this is supposed to be his family, yes? He should at least try. Asa is all right, Miss Inko. He mumbles, while looking down. If he looked up, he would have seen the motherly expression of "Oh my god, high precious inid tohu gimsamek" on her face. Asterisk. Izuku was 99% certain that his parents staged the newspaper attack in order to make Asa feel less scared of his new dad. Too many consecutive hits. That or, which was an option as well. Inko felt her motherly protective instinct bloom into something uncontrollable and she went berserk for a second. That was an option. She enjoyed bloodless thievery, but it's not like she didn't have to beat someone from time to time. She just did it non-lethally. She was still slightly chubbier now, way less so than before. Thunderbolt died, but she still knew how to beat people if needed. She just didn't do that anymore. If Mischief in her prime and Rappa went into the ring, Izuku would bet for Rappa, but nothing which he would be hurt by losing, and that's if she wasn't using her quirk, since otherwise RIP Rappa. The last bits of Ace's overwhelming fear and anxiety were mostly dispelled when Eri popped up, alongside Hellhound in his small form. She didn't try to hug him, she knew that he was scared and didn't want to scare him any more than that, but she immediately started talking. Reassuringly. And in a cute way, because there are very few things that she does that aren't cute. Asa seems to have come to the idea that if Eri is here, then the family, and a certain part of it, that was towering over the room and filling it with his presence, couldn't be so bad. When Asa, Inko, and Eri departed from the room, to show Asa his new room, Hisoshi approached Izuku. He really is similar to you. His dad speaks. He is confident and in one of his best suits. He looks certainly not like a person who was just smacked several times with a newspaper. Not enough for Izuku to decide that the fight was staged. Still, Hisoshi knew how to pretend that everything was going according to the plan even when everything around him was going to hell. What about the DNA tests? Izuku shots back jokingly. His father groans. I told you, no one else in my life. Hisoshi sighs. I was too busy being a shadow emperor. For romance. Unless Garaki decided to clone me or do something like that, Asa is certainly not my biological son. Even if he did, what were the statistical chances of Izuku running into that very lost brother? Besides, it's not like an interest in quirks was defined in genetics. There is a thing I need to ask you about, though. Hisoshi says. The paranormal liberation front is a rising threat. I must admit that I didn't expect Garaki to go renegade to this degree, and I have absolutely no idea how he and the quirkless liberation front came together. Their ideologies couldn't be more different. Seems to be a common theme. Izuku replies. I mean, remnants of the creature rejection clan and the Inhuman Supremacy Party joined it too. It's like every sufficiently evil group out there decided to put their ideological crusades on hold and focus on overwhelming the heroes. True. QLF's attack on Hosu was the start of the avalanche. Hisoshi says. Eclipse proved that you can attack the heroes and win. Not just some random hero out there, but an entire city they protected. The Paranormal Liberation Front will turn upon itself the second the UA and the Hero Commission fall. But for now, its members will work together because they feel they can win. He doesn't add it, but his reign was different. He could win. All he had to do was to just show up in front of the National Diet, butcher everyone inside, and then start mowing down the heroes left and right. Who would stop him? One for all holders, until All Might, and Perhaps, Nana if she played her cards better. They were an amusing distraction rather than a threat. He just didn't feel like doing it. He enjoyed being the whispered object of terror, controlling everything from the backseat. Japan and its eternal war between the heroes and villains were an entertainment to him. He had enough puppets in the government to de facto control both sides for most of the time. He ruled only one of them, but influenced the other heavily. Destroying the heroes fully would just mean having to deal with various underground insurgency groups, pissed off by the fact that he was now a no longer shadow but still very emperor figure. Instead, all of his potential enemies popped up in the media, honing their quirks until they were ready to get harvested by him. Oddly enough, there were always more hero candidates than really dangerous villains. Like lambs to the slaughter, in the end. But his death tilted the board, changing it into a mess. Coming back to the thing I have to ask you for, Hisoshi sighs. Do you think you are ready to face Gigantomachia? Well, that was the last thing Izuku wanted to talk about. Chapter end notes. F_CK, and I can't stress this enough, Russia, people. Chapter summary. Marriage. New members of the League. More talk about Gigantomachia, maybe an accidental marriage. Chapter notes. I promised to show you the list of nicknames after the last chapter. There are some more in this one, so I decided to wait for it. League chat room. Izuku Midoriya, Small Might. Shihai Kuroro, Vantablack, UA Spy earlier. Todoroki Tuya Gdabi, Burn Burn Burn. Himiko Toga, Vampire Princess. Tenko Shimura, Handyman. Shuichi Iguchi, Spinner, Sneaky Gecko. Kurogiri, Cat Provider. Blueberry, Blueberry. Hitoshi Shinsu, Insomniac. Stain, Purge the Fakes. My Hatsume, MISS Explosion. Toxicity, Toxic Girl. Juggernaut, Juggernaut. Rabbit, Minamiruko. Incense, Saving Grace. Awu Awu. Mr. Compress, World is a Stage a Clown Lord. Formally. Zealot, Deus Vault. Mustard, Fuck School. Hero Chat Room. Mirio Tugata, Tintin Can Tintin. Nedzu, Mr. Principal. Sir Nightai, Deadpan Stalker. Eraserhead, Cat's Coffin App. Knuckle Duster, I Cast Fist. Miruko, Angry Rabbit. Gang Orca, Killer Whale. Tsukorchi, Lie Detector. All Might, Super Punch. Best Genist, Fashionable 8. Edshot, Raisingin. Ms. Joke, Ms. Eraserhead. Crust, Super Cool. I think that I didn't miss anyone. See the end of the chapter for more. Notes. Small Might, I would like to make a big announcement today. Insomniac, oh? Small Might, more like 3, actually. Sneaky Gecko, oh. Small Might, announcement number 01. Small Might send invitation to the chat to Juggernaut, D rank. Juggernaut, D rank, joins the chat with default nickname of Juggernaut. Small Might send invitation to the chat to Awu, unranked. Awu, unranked, joins the chat with default nickname of Awu. Handyman, Suto, smiley face. Awu, Tenko, smiley face. Sneaky Gecko, too precious. Small Might, I know they are probably sitting together while writing this. Small Might send invitation to the chat to Toxicity, E-rank. Toxicity, E-rank, joins the chat with default nickname of Toxic Girl. Small Might send invitation to the chat to Rabbit, D-rank. Rabbit, D-rank, joins the chat with default nickname of Rabbit. Small Might changed Rabbit's nickname to Minamiruko. Small Might send invitation to the chat to Incense, B-rank. Incense, B-rank, joins the chat with default nickname of Saving Grace. Minamiruko, what? Small Might, you are a rabbit, and you are dangerous when you get close. She is a rabbit, and she is dangerous when she gets close. Small Might, yes, I saw you admiring her merch in my room. Minamiruko, oh. Sneaky Gecko, a boy of good taste. Minamiruko, please don't eat me, Mr. Spinner. Sneaky Gecko, wait, I didn't mean it like that. Cat Provider, straight face. Small Might, oh now you've done it, Geckoman. Sneaky Gecko, sorry sir. Toxic Girl, hello. Juggernaut, yes. Awu, laughing face. Small Might, yes, so we have new members now. Small Might, our interns decided to accept my offer to join us. Small Might, I'm happy because they were super awesome during the battle. Small Might, also fuck this, we're going in raw. Small Might send invitation to the chat to Mr. Compress, SS rank. Mr. Compress, SS rank, joins the chat with default nickname of World is a Stage. Purge the Fakes, oh no. Cat Provider, oh no indeed. World is a Stage, oh yes, Is that fascinating and wonderful special hidden super fantastic? Chat for the active members of the league. Small Might changed WORLDSSDAGE's nickname to Clown Lord. Clown Lord, now that's just uncalled for, young Midoriya. Small Might, I asked you about payment for levelers' participation in the battle. Okay, it was. Just you, gentle and twice but still. Small Might, you asked me to pay you in pin-ups of MY Mother. Small Might, I'm being merciful with the nickname. Cap Provider. Clown Lord, understandable. Have a nice day. Clown Lord, on another note, did we lose anyone important except for Power Punch? Small Might, nah, in the end we didn't. At least, no one important. Small Might, but it was close. And Power Punch will hurt us, or at least the rappers little. Fight Club that just joined the league as a subsidiary. Do you know how hard it is to get? Some real heavy brawlers. It's not like I can invite Knuckle Duster or Maruko to do some illegal cage fighting. Small Might, now it's time for announcement number TWO. Small Might, from now on, Asa Naoki aka Rabbit aka Minimaruko is my beloved adopted younger brother that I cherish greatly, and you're all supposed to be nice to him, as in, even. Nicer, seriously, put in some effort. Small Might, also he is Asa Midoriya now. Toxic Girl, wait, so Mischief is Rabbit's mom now. Minimaruko, yes. Insomniac, oh wow, boss plan to give us all his surname has moved to another phase. Toxic Girl, that's awesome. She cooks well and she is just so kind and nice to everyone. Minimaruko, I know. Minimaruko, until she has a newspaper in her hands. Minimaruko, then she is scary but in good way. Toxic Girl, I'm missing some context. Small Might, it's a bit of a family secret. Small Might, Clown Lord might get a heart attack. Clown Lord, why? Small Might, not telling you. Clown Lord, please let me unpack this wonderful mystery. Small Might, no. Clown Lord, just one small tip. Small Might, no. Clown Lord, one word, we'll play hangman over it. Small Might, for fuck's sake stop it, or you'll be the hangman. Blueberry, seeing boss talk like that with Mr. Compress of all people is just so surreal. He has been a supervillain for so long. Wow. Small Might, and stop having lewd thoughts about MY Mother you. Damn clown. Clown Lord, no. Small Might, you asked for it. Small Might, she is taken. Clown Lord, oh, that didn't come up during the talk. By whom? Small Might, well I wonder, just don't get a heart attack. Clown Lord, no. Small Might, yes. Clown Lord, oh fuck no. Small Might, oh fuck yes. Clown Lord, I thought he is dead. Small Might, he isn't, but you might be if Cat Provider tells him about the pin UPS. Clown Lord at Cat Provider, this was a misunderstanding, oh fuck. Toxic Girl, Insomniac at Toxic Girl Legion has a dad that's so scary that Hero Commission didn't add him in the supervillain list because they preferred to pretend that he doesn't exist, and now Mr. Compress found out that he was lusting after his wife. Insomniac, he thought that said dad was dead. Insomniac, and so Mr. Compress is having a panic attack. Insomniac, also it's a league secret, dear interns, so no telling anyone on the outside or we'll all die. Cat Provider, how so? Clown Lord, not ERO pin UPS, the nice ones, because she is literally one of my two idols and I love her villain outfit aesthetic. Clown Lord, I wouldn't lewd her, I was just messing with Legion. Clown Lord, have mercy. Toxic Girl, do I want to ask why the SS rank villain has this degree of a meltdown over this? Insomniac, the last time Legion's dad met with All Might, said dad tore All Might's stomach and lung out and did a villainous monologue in front of the symbol of peace, who was on his knees with his innards being on the wrong side of the skin. But then AM managed to sneak. In United States of Smash and Legion's dad ended up looking worse. But now said dad is back to full strength. Toxic Girl, oh, okay, that explains the meltdown. Small Might, mercy granted. Now stop with the screaming Small Might, I wanted to announce it in different way. But yeah, cat's out of the bag. Small Might, my dad is the legendary quirk thief, man capable of taking and giving quirks. Small Might, he ruled this country from the shadows for like 2 centuries but recently decided to retire. Small Might is currently too busy cuddling my little sister, whom he thinks is the most adorable person in the world, to do crimes. Clown Lord, wait. Clown Lord, all for 1 RETIRED, and is currently busy with family life? Small Might, yes. Clown Lord, this is literally the least probable assortment of words within a single message I could potentially think of. Small Might, I can send you a pic of my little sister using my dad as a stead. He is on all fours. Clown Lord, what? Small Might, this is honestly less humiliating than the one of him wearing All Might's apron. It was a penalty from Mom for cheating at Monopoly. Small Might, All Might choked on a cheeseburger when he saw it. Clown Lord, what? Small Might, and the newspaper thing that Minamaruko mentioned is because he scared him. So Inko started beating him with a rolled newspaper until he hid behind the couch. Clown Lord, what? Small Might, we are all alive and safe only because he is playing a family man. Small Might, so do the entire Japan a favor and don't make him unretire himself with something stupid, you damn clown. Clown Lord, I will not do anything stupid, sir. Clown Lord, just don't mention the pinups to him, please. Small Might, no lusting after Mom and no mentions of the pinups. Small Might, this brings back to the third announcement. Small Might, when we rest and heal, we're going to battle Gigantomachia. Clown Lord, oh fuck no why are you doing this? Clown Lord, I came here for the laughs not for the existential pain. Toxic Girl, who? Insomniac, actually I don't think I know details myself. It was mentioned by Legion on another chat, but he was limited in specifics. But I do know that it's going to be a pain, due to the compress reaction. He actually knows it. Small Might at Toxic Girl, let me summarize it. Small Might, my dad is a drama queen / concept of overkill made flesh. Small Might, he wanted to make a perfect bodyguard. Small Might, so he created a 3-30m tall, he can change his size, humanoid Kiju capable of trampling cities in its wake, almost utterly invulnerable to attacks and capable of fighting continuously for weeks without rest, food or water, with TEN quirks, number taken from the fact that it was supposed to be able to face all top 10 heroes at once and at the very least hold the ground against them. That was before All Might popped up. Small Might, TLDR, my dad's bodyguard can destroy a small country on his own, and we are going to force him to submit. Purge the fakes, what the fuck? Insomniac, Jesus Christ. Toxic Girl, surprised face. Minamaruko, I'm scared. Small Might at Minamaruko, come to my room if you want a hug. Minamaruko, I'll be brave. Small Might, laughing face. Small Might, Gigantomachia is essentially my father's ultimate weapon. A living weapon of mass destruction, capable of stomping through cities, annihilating armies of heroes in its wake. Small Might, he is like a super high-end Numu, but is still intelligent, although is a bit toddler-ish for most of the time. Small Might, people generally go brain-dead on the second quirk. Gigantomachia Gnome 9. And without Garaki surgeries to make it easier on him. Small Might, the problem is, PLF knows where Gigantomachia's hidey hole is. Insomniac, oh well that's no good. Burn, 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 that's putting it delicately. Small Might, Gigantomachia is fanatically loyal to my dad, but my dad is a dick and he won't just warp there and tell Machia to follow me. Instead he wants me to earn it by popping there with my group and proving my strength to Gigantomachia. Small Might, and I have to do it real fast, because if I won't do it then Garaki will and then we all TOAST. Small Might, Machia is a weapon capable of engaging All Might at the apex of his strength in battle. It can't win, but it can tank so many hits that it'll tire Might badly, so with some support, yeah. Insomniac, plans for that. Because I honestly can't imagine us taking this thing down, unless you use your OPPLS nerf quirk. Small Might, using the primary would defeat the purpose of beating Machia. Small Might, and disassembly would be nice but he has a hyper-regeneration quirk, I'll tire down Were before him. Small Might, but I have an idea. Small Might, it's crazy but it will count as wonderful training for us all, especially the new interns. Small Might, we need to wait for a moment or two for everyone to heal back up, though. Toxic Girl, are we really going to be useful in all that? Small Might, you, my dear interns, are the only reason why this plan might work. Small Might, but that's for the future. Saving grace, Gremlin woke up, come quickly. Small Might, GTGBYE. ****. The room they delegated to being Incense's temporary hospital was a small one. It was also filled with smoke, and Incense's hair was on fire. The most surprising thing in all of that was that it wasn't Gremlin's fault. That was fast. Incense commented when she saw him enter. She was a young woman, about the same age as Tenko, with blazing red hair. She ditched the religious paraphernalia. after they evacuated her from the battlefield and was now wearing a short dress and a pair of knee-high socks. All black, for some reason. I'll leave you two alone. The fire in her hair dies out when she deactivates her quirk. It was quite cool. Her hair produced an incense-like smoke that greatly sped up recovery of wounds and reduced exhaustion of everyone that inhaled it. It also regrew quite quickly from the constant burning. She was, technically, a non-complex mutant, and had a personal reason to detest the complex mutants. The Inhuman Supremacy Party did things that made many people hate the people it supposedly represented. Incense left the room. Gremlin rose from the bed. Izuku was about to say something. Then he saw that she had tears in her eyes. And then she ran towards him. His strength-boosting quirk, he should probably get another one for moments like this, stopped him from suffering serious injuries. He tries to speak. He isn't used to Hatsune pretty much crying into his t-shirt. She doesn't give him the time to do that. I'm sorry, she said. You got hurt because of me. Because my baby wasn't good enough. I'm sorry. She adds, slightly more clearly, although clearly only in terms of vocalization, because Izuku immediately notices that he has no idea what's happening. What does she even mean by this? Your baby, you mean your robot? He asks, and he can feel her nod. It's slightly uncomfortable to have her close enough to feel her nods instead of seeing them. It did its best. If anything, it's my fault for letting purity surprise you. It's not your fault, me. She pushes him back. Or, more like, she takes a step back with a bit too much enthusiasm. No, she shouts. Her eyes are slightly unfocused. She is still conscious and sane, but something in her is wrong. Her hands waved around her temples, fingers stretched as if she considered grabbing her head but wasn't sure about it. No, it was supposed to protect you. It failed. I failed. When I fail, tears are still streaming down her face. Please, don't leave me. I'll make a better one. I promise. Oh shit. Oh shit. Izuku realized that he was too lenient with his attempts to fix his friends, and that he classified Gremlin as happily and functionally, save for the episodes, insane and focused on the more perturbed League members. And he has missed some very worrying things. He really didn't want to think about what brought that. Redestro was going to die, and Izuku really started to feel like that one thing was getting personal. He makes a step towards her. She looks like she is shrinking before him. He grabs her hands and pulls her towards him a bit. But he does it delicately. He doesn't want to aggravate anything. When she is close enough, he hugs her. Thankfully, she hugs him back. It's all right. I'm not leaving you, no matter what happens. You saved my life, you and your babies. She is crying again, but this time it feels like it's less painful to her. There are some happy tears mixed in. You are part of the League, part of the family. This won't stop simply because you didn't work hard enough, It's not like his words can mysteriously fix whatever Redestro broke in her. He does his best to support her, but he has a lot of work in front of him. She still calms down a bit. No, a lot. But only after a few minutes of crying into him again. Living with Midoriya, Inko prepared him for that very moment. He is used to being cried into. Sorry, finally says. She took another step back, but seems to be back to her sane state. I overreacted. I thought you were dying, Anne, she sighs. I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. She isn't alone in that part. I'm still here, and I'm planning to stay. He replies with a reassuring smile. So, is there something that I can do for you? You did save me, after all. He should also figure out a gift for Himiko. They were in on that one crazy stunt. Marry me. She replies promptly, and Izuku just stares at her. What is all that he manages to utter? Marry me. She says again, this time slightly more confidently. Be a puppet to my babies. And the confidence vanishes. I don't want to be alone ever again. She half whispers. Izuku is 99% certain that marriage is something else than a mutual agreement to live together and tinker with weapons of mass destruction until heroes will be too tired of dealing with them and will all emigrate from Japan. Gremlin sounds like she wants to be adopted more than married. Is that what marriage is in? The League of Villains? Adoption, mutual in Tenko's case, with benefits? He hates the term with passion. He is still going to mention it to Mirio just to see his reaction. It's not like he gets benefits, either. He and Himiko are slowly getting used to the existence of the S-word, and are honestly just cuddling and being supportive to each other. Their marriage is an odd one. Okay, first of all, I'm already married. Izuku replies. Gremlin tilts her head, looking at him quizzically, as if trying to figure out how that's a problem. What's her understanding of the word marriage to begin with? And I'm not sure if we can make decisions like that without Himiko. So, his attempt to buy some time in order to stop being so damn terrified of that talk is brutally interrupted. I agree. He hears an unexpected shout. They both look towards the source of it, and, of course, Himiko is no longer asleep. Still in her bed, but certainly not asleep. Come on, do it. Couldn't you just stay asleep, damn it? Izuku is slightly angry. You're making this awkward. He is happy she woke up, but he is also kinda unhappy that she did it at the worst possible timing. It's only awkward because you don't want to agree, but you also don't want to say no. Himiko retorts. Make up your mind and say yes. You made so many babies with hair. Take responsibility. My perks up a bit. Yes, and we'll make even more together. She has that slightly manic look on her face. So many new babies. Izuku decides that he was wrong. Himiko wasn't making it awkward. Both of them were making it awkward. It is time to end this once and for all. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Small Might, I have a question. Tintin can. Yes? Small Might, how exactly am I supposed to tell my mom that I think I just got married? Again. Tintin can. Tintin can, you actually married Gremlin. Small Might, I don't know what happened. Small Might, IT just did. Small Might, OMG mom is going to kill me. Small Might, it was bad enough when I told her I was married after the fact, but I think I now did it again and with a girl she didn't even meet beforehand. Small Might, I'm really weak when it comes to relationship stuff and they exploited it against me. Small Might, Gremlin was just too, damaged by it all. She asked me to marry. Because she doesn't want to be alone ever again, right after tearfully begging me to not leave her alone because her baby failed to protect me and, I think that Detnerat didn't tolerate her babies being subpar so and I just, Small Might, I struggled. Small Might, but they just, Small Might, kept nagging me. Small Might, and then Gremlin suddenly said that she wants my surname because her parents wouldn't want her to be a villain and she just taints the name of Hatsumes and I was like, Small Might, UGH. Small Might, I don't know what I was like. Small Might, SHIT. Tintin can, I diagnose you with a terminal case of being too kind. Small Might, what? Tintin can, you are so kind that you literally can't not help someone who was messed up by life, and you are willing to go so far as to literally marry them to make them feel better. Tintin can, they just need to ask tearfully and if you think it will make them happier you will immediately agree. Tintin can, I'm almost sure that your marriage is like 99% cuddling and emotional support, and being an even closer family to each other. Small Might, make it 100%. Tintin can, really? Small Might, I don't know how to start that supposed 1%, damn it don't. Make it even harder on me. Small Might, aren't we like 6 to 7 months after the USJ raid? I asked Himiko what she thinks about me that evening and it was like, Small Might, do you like me? Yes. But do you, like me? And of course while blushing and not being able to say love word openly because my throat gagged on it. Small Might, it's a reasonable amount of progress for 6 months. Especially as it was pretty damn busy 6 months. Small Might, and don't have me started on the fact that Himiko didn't really know what sex is until Sunset explained it to her. Tintin can, what? Small Might, so yeah it's more like adoption with potential future benefits. Tintin can, your last message has proven to me that you are truly an unrepentant evil monster and you need to be stopped. I'm sure the heroes in my head agree. Small Might, try it and I'll ask La Brava to flood the UA systems with some choice drawings from the internet. Tintin can, what drawings? Small Might, the ones with Legion X Lemillion tags. Tintin can, I'm going to violently murder you for informing that such a tag exists. Small Might, well I almost violently murdered Mindscrew for informing me too. Small Might, mood kindred. Tintin can, Small Might, in the meantime, I have something to ask you about. Tintin can. Oh. Izuku, I have an announcement. Cat thief. Oh. Demon Lord, another adoption. Izuku, yes and T. Izuku, I got married. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Cat thief, we know. Demon Lord, yes. Izuku, no, like. Izuku, it happened again? Cat thief, what? Demon Lord. Izuku, it was an accident. Izuku, I wasn't going to say yes, but I somehow did and I can't turn it back. Izuku, besides I'm a villain, so it's not like it's official, so, doing it twice is all right. Izuku, is mom crying? Demon Lord, please stop asking rhetorical questions. Izuku, and what's your opinion? Demon Lord, I'm currently too busy laughing about your predicament to answer. Izuku, Cat thief, who is it? Izuku? Izuku, gremlin. Izuku, saved my life during the battle against purity. Izuku, flew over the forest with a jetpack, with a large sword in hand, and then, flew beside a CRC officer like that, severing her in half as she was about to shoot me, and then she crash-landed, only to stand up and rush to defend me, despite her injuries, with Himiko, because she latched onto Gremlin before the flight. And after waking up she started to cry, because she felt like she failed me for not, saving me faster. And, Izuku, I mean it was hard to say no to her when she then asked me to marry her because she doesn't want to be alone ever again. Izuku, quirk not very cool, but she can probably build a nuke, 50 support items and at least 3 different weapons violating the Geneva Conventions from what you can buy at some corner electronic shop. Izuku, I think David Shield has now an entire lab dedicated to trying to figure out her inventions, so. Demon Lord, do not act like that, son. Demon Lord, first of all, that's your wife, not mine. Second of all, I understand the value of good support items. I might collect quirks, but I'm not blind to the greater picture. Cat thief, when can I meet her? Izuku, soon. I hope. I just got a very complicated mission and it's super time sensitive. As in, if we wait too long, an apocalypse happens. Cat thief, apocalypse will certainly happen if I don't get to meet your new wife soon. Izuku, I'll do my best to fit this into schedule MOM. Izuku, also can we start a proper family chat? Me and Asa are going to be away from home. 4AWHILE soon. Demon Lord, excellent idea. Chapter end notes. Izuku is doing his best, but his social skills when girls are involved are still his dump. Stat. Is that even a harem at this point? Was Gremlin married or adopted? No idea, but it'll certainly involve a lot of cuddling. Blueberry actually lampshades that question in a chapter or two. Also having a semi-qualified doctor, however small of a role she'll be playing, makes sense, even with Izuku having overhauls quirk. Trust me, time will, once again, tell. And yes, I boosted Gigantomachia by 3 quirks. Simply because I could. Chapter summary. Gigantomachia. Plans for Gigantomachia are made. Tenko is hit by yet another character development. Mallet. Hisoshi admits what's his secret evil master plan to his wife. Chapter notes. I'm getting a bit desperate because that FIC doesn't get enough love. https://archivo4own.org/works/362713334/chapters/9400667. Dead on Arrival. Very good fic that actually ends up being a rather convoluted, alternative AU distant prequel to TTB and CTE that's going to answer some rather interesting questions, such as how One for All or All for One actually started, and where is Nedzu taking all the money from. Seriously, give it a read. I'm kind of sad about it because the premise I picked, Dawn of Quirks but with canon characters, seems to be, less popular than the CTE, despite me thinking that I wrote it much better. Oh, the sadness. https://archivo4own.org/works/362459444/chapters/940057006 ties that bind. Another fantastic fic of mine that's actually doing pretty well, about 50% of the activity of CTE despite less chapters, but I'm still looking for more V. Dead on Arrival even got a meme from a reader yesterday. Now all I need is a fan art and a TV tropes page and my fanfic career will be completed LOLXD. See the end of the chapter for more. Notes. The entirety of the league, including Mr. Compress, believe it or not, although it could as well be one of twice clones, showed up for the talk. It was, after all, a major strategy talk. Izuku described everything he knew about the Gigantomachia. There were pictures. There was a recording. They had to be ready to see how Machia actually acts, just to not be startled. There was a dissection of the list of its quirks. They didn't like it. Then it was time to tell them what his plan for it was. In short, it won't just listen to me, even if I claim that I'm my father's son. Izuku announces. So the only way of making it submit is to prove our strength. And to do that, we need to, well, defeat it. Easier said than done. Spinner comments. I mean, come on. Just figure out a nasty plan to have All Might soften it up for us and there. Done. Machia will only accept us if we beat it down. Izuku replies. He is standing in front of the crowd, painfully conscious of a heavily anxious rabbit trying to stand next to it but kinda not knowing how to deal with it. I'm actually going to do my best to keep the heroes from interfering, but I do have a plan. Just be aware that this is going to be the hardest, most arduous battle you were ever a part of. We are going to separate into 3 main groups. First, one is Compress, Sunset, Kurogiri, Spinner, Vantablack, and Gremlin. I regret to inform you that you will not participate in this battle. Compress is, probably, relieved behind his mask. Sunset and Gremlin are shocked. Kurogiri is unreadable. Vantablack is curious and Spinner is surprised. But Sunset tries to speak, but Izuku interrupts her. We're going to be out of contact with the world for weeks, Blueberry. She understands at this point, but he decides to drive the nail home. There is absolutely no point in taking down Machia if we let our subsidiary group collapse on us in the meantime. Levelers, QEM, Villain Academy, Villain Industries, and the Exchange need to continue working and expanding in the meantime. I'm going to leave you with a few special assignments for that time, especially to the Exchange and the Villain Industries. Gremlin perks up. She smells the chance for new babies. She isn't wrong. What about me? Spinner asks. He is clearly the odd one in the first group. You're going to get a very special assignment. Izuku replies. Depending on the outcome of one of the Gremlin's little jobs, you might end up being transferred to the Exchange. Spinner's face clouds a bit. Wait until you learn what I'm talking about before making that face. Did I ever fail you? I still remember that Monopoly tournament. Spinner retorts and Izuku wants to jump out of the window. It was just one time that he messed up. All right, fine. But it better be good. It is. Oh, it very much is. The second group is me, Rabbit, Incense, and, well, Kurogiri and Gremlin are probably going to work part-time in it. Izuku continues. It's not the exact combat group, more like support/temps. Me, Incense, and Rabbit are going to set up a field hospital. Rabbit will be healing exhaustion, Incense will be dealing with general wounds, and I'll be using my quirk to repair heavy wounds and, if the worst happens, resurrect you. Kurogiri will be timing as our emergency ambulance and someone to deliver food and water to the base. He'll be also bringing new babies from Gremlin to do some field testing of them in combat situations, if she'll build something new. Gremlin is, naturally, beaming. Rabbit seems to be reassured that he won't have to face Machia while being able to use his quirk lots. He loves doing it. Kurogiri is still unreadable, but this time he has Incense in the same camp. Finally, the combat group. Juggernaut and Stain as our main tanks to soak up the damage. Mine's crew using his quirk to at least temporarily slow Machia down, preferably alongside Stain. Toxicity, Darby and Tenko dealing damage. Vampire shifting between bodies to fool the giant about whom he is actually facing. Awu using her enhanced senses to make sure that Machia doesn't sneak up on us with one of his burrowing attacks. I'll be joining you, frequently as field medic/commander/damage dealer. Be aware, Izuku stares at them. This is going to be a long battle. You're going to spend weeks fighting. I literally mean it. Almost no breaks during that time, unless you screw up, die and need to spend a moment in the hospital to start thinking again. We'll figure out how to let you eat and drink from time to time, but trust me, this is going to be harsh. Anyone wants to bail out. No one did. His second family was a great one. Well then, Izuku smiles. You better start packing things up. We're departing tomorrow. Gremlin. My eyes instantly get locked onto him. We have something to do before that. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Tintin, I have an announcement. Mr. Principal, let me guess, League? Tintin, yes. Deadpan Stalker, we're listening then. Tintin, majority of the League has to temporarily withdraw from the day-to-day operations for a certain special assignment. Mr. Principal, temporarily? Tintin, Legion estimates 30 to 60 days. Ms. Erase ahead, that might mean the entire war against the front tbh. I cast fist, optimist. Cat's coffin app, or pessimist. Mr. Principal, did they explain the reason for this? Tintin, Legion is pursuing some old superweapon of All for One in hopes of capturing it. Before Overhaul does, because if PLF gets it first then we can all just lie down, cry and then quickly book tickets to United States while hoping that Overhaul doesn't follow us there. Tintin, the weapon's name is Gigantomachia. Deadpan Stalker, Gigantomachia actually exists. I cast fist, explanations. Angry Rabbit, carrot. Deadpan Stalker, during the All for One reign we heard about the existence of some undefined being under this name. It was supposedly ALO's ultimate weapon/bodyguard. I honestly believed it to be an intimidating lie, especially as it didn't show up during the clash against All Might. Tintin, Legion says that it exists. My opinion is that All for One didn't treat All Might as a serious threat. You remember the bit with you sneaking in the United States of Smash while he was gloating over your broken body, and then was taken down without being given time to summon his trump card. I cast fist. Do we know what exactly it is? And do we want Legion to obtain it? Shouldn't we try to take it down ourselves? Mr. Principal, I'm interested in obtaining answers to the first two questions myself. And to the third to a degree as well. Deadpan Stalker, same. Tintin, apparently a former follower of ALO of such an unquestioning loyalty to him and powerful body that he survived receiving 9 quirks without Garaki's pneumification process, without going brain dead, although it is, supposedly, a bit mentally disabled. Mr. Principal, oh dear. I cast fist. A lot depends on the quirks in question. Deadpan Stalker, true. Tintin, I have a list, actually. Legion sent it as a sign of goodwill, while adding that his idea for Gigantomachia is to have him acknowledge Legion as his master, like All for One, and then have Kurogiri warp it to his home and tell him he is supposed to guard it. Thus, removing him from the equation of the war entirely, Gigantomachia will engage every hero he sees unless explicitly told otherwise by his master, so it's hard to use him in any sort of cooperative missions. Deadpan Stalker, so Gigantomachia out of the picture while Legion's sister, the key element of Overhaul's plans for the quirk erasure gas, is even better protected. Angry Rabbit, how sure are we that he won't use it against us after all? Tintin, he is thus far doing his best to limit collateral damage. Gigantomachia is a definition of collateral damage. Deadpan Stalker, I see. I assume the collateral damage is due to its quirks. Tintin, yes. It has, as I said, 10 quirks. Tintin, 1. Endurance. It allows Gigantomachia to convert his morale into physical strength and stamina while recharging his other quirks. So for as long as his will isn't broken, he is extremely hard to take down. It's also supposedly his original quirk. I cast fist. Sounds like a pain to deal with. Angry Rabbit, depends. If you take him down instantly, this is useless. Tintin, 2. Pain blocker. He is unable to feel pain, regardless of the severity of the injuries, which has a nice synergy effect with the first quirk. It has the mind of an enthusiastic child, and without pain, it's extremely hard to lower its morale. Tintin, 3. Gigantification. The more angry or agitated in general he is, the larger he grows. His maximum height approaches 30 meters. It's one part of what I said about collateral damages. Lie detector, well, damn. That's a pain. Super punch, true. Normally gigantification is dealable with because it's just a proportional strength growth. If there are other quirks to make you way stronger than that, Tintin, 4. Dog. It seems to be a variant of mutant quirks, granting Gigantomachia exceptional sense of smell to aid him in tracking targets from afar while also allowing him to detect incoming enemies. It makes him extremely hard to surprise, as other senses are improved as well. Mr. Principal, there goes my initial idea of how to deal with it if we have to. Tintin, 5, energy saver. It allows Gigantomachia to operate on minimal amounts of sleep, food and water. By minimal, I mean 2-3 hours of sleep a month, and a similar amount of food and water. Deadpan Stalker, perfect for a bodyguard. Tintin, 6, fierce gains. Muscle hardening quirk, apparently enough for Gigantomachia to be able to tank artillery rounds. Legion thinks that save for All Might, and, perhaps, me, there are no heroes strong enough to cause physical damage to it, unless they hit where it hurts. Eyes, for example, or attack with, for example, heat, etc. Mr. Principal, oh dear. I cast Fist, well, shit. Tintin, 7, mole. It can grow mole-like claws from his fingers, spines on his back, and a visor to shield his face, to help him dig through the earth. It can hide underground easily and burrow under you for a sneak attack. Tintin, 8, hyper-regeneration. Even if you somehow blow off his arm, it will regrow promptly. It has limits, but, well, refer to quirk number 1. Enough damage in short. Succession will kill it, but, well, refer to quirk number 6. Cat's coffin app. This investigation is a nightmare and I can't wake up from it. Lie detector, yes. Tintin, 9, charge, amplification of physical force when it runs. Essentially every 20 meters of movement in some direction doubles the resulting physical force of the next attack, be it a punch or a full body slam. Stacks up to 2 times. Tintin, 10. Ruin, when it reaches a certain level of mass, so when it grows big enough, the non-organic physical objects stop offering him any resistance. Essentially imagine a 20 meters monster that can simply walk through a skyscraper without even noticing it is there, and probably while sleepwalking or SMTH, while leaving a hole in its shape in it, and you get how this quirk works. Fashionable elate, I can't believe that I'm saying this, but I agree with Legion. Mr. Principal, on Fashionable elate, if we let PLF capture Gigantomachia, we can as well start evacuating the country. Fashionable elate, taking this thing down would require amassing such a military force that we would be left vulnerable practically everywhere else. And we probably can't amass enough of it if Garaki sends 100 Numas to fight alongside it, unless All Might and Nedzu call in their international contacts. And even that might not be enough if QLF, ISP and CRC remnants will be there too. Mr. Principal, my opinion exactly. Tintin, its only weakness is that it's, well, dumb. It can think for itself, but only barely. If its handlers are eliminated, it can be easily confused and can easily fall for illusions. Although probably not offensive mental quirks, Gigantomachia had enough willpower to survive what would break 99,999% people out there. This didn't vanish entirely after the process was done. Tintin, it's apparently been hiding in some forest since All for One's death, because there was nobody left to tell it to leave it. But Legion knows that Dr. Garaki knows where it is, so he is planning to make it submit before PLF shows up. Tintin, but making Gigantomachia accept Legion as his new master will take anywhere between 30 and 60 days. Tintin, I have an approximate location of Gigantomachia's hidey hole in Nagata Mountains, but Legion urges heroes to keep away from it. If they show up, League will have to go after them with lethal means, or Gigantomachia will decide that they are heroes too, while making sure that PLF won't try to sneak around for the duration of the battle. Mr. Principal, it might be a good idea to play along while doing some investigation on our own when it comes to this giant. With enough data, we should probably admit that it exists too. The Commission, it should have some time to prepare in case something went wrong. Deadpan Stalker, I agree. Izuku was planning to depart, with Himiko and Mai, to his home, when he received the most unlikely visitor, namely, Tenko. Alone. Tenko going anywhere alone was an unheard of thing since he met Suto. Izuku caught himself treating them like a single entity in 2 bodies. Tenko had a look of confusion on his face, and looked just slightly hurt by something. He practically stormed into Izuku's office, with an emotional tsunami of emotions on his face. Another unexpected thing. Izuku? He asks, in a slightly confused way. It's as if he is half surprised by him being there. I think I made a mistake. He didn't dust a woo accidentally, right? Izuku can fix that if it happened during the last 15 minutes, but it will make Tenko's marriage extremely awkward. I'll try to help, but you'll have to tell me what happened. Izuku isn't sure if he is fit to counsel relationships of others, but he'll at least do his best. Making Tenko talk about it with Lemillion would be the height of uncomfortableness. I talked with a woo. He starts. He is standing there awkwardly in front of Izuku's desk, still clearly lost. It was about the last battle. I mentioned how many clans I dusted, since I know that they are killing and wounding people like Suto. I expected her to be happy, but she wasn't. He looks terrified now. I think I hurt her, but I don't know why. I don't want to hurt her. Oh great. Suto Shimura is now officially the second most favorite in turns to Izuku, although it depends on the results of this talk. I think she simply doesn't like the idea of people being killed. Izuku replies. Tenko stares at him quizzically. There are people like that. Majority of them, in fact. But why? Tenko is still shocked by the concept. They hurt her. And if not her, then others like her. Why not kill them for that? The honest reply from Izuku would be, honestly, I think they should be killed or at last permanently discouraged otherwise. But his adopted older brother doesn't need this degree of honesty. He needs something that will make him grow as a person. Some people simply don't want people to be killed. Izuku replies, if my brief interactions with Suto are any indication, she knows what it means to be in pain, and is uncomfortable with knowing and seeing that others suffer, because she understands what they feel when that happens. In Izuku's honest opinion, Awu shouldn't be a villain to begin with, but she had nowhere else to go. Besides, she can act as a tracker and do some non-lethal takedowns. For a few seconds, Izuku thinks that he failed. Tenko's emotionally shutting down. He knows the signs, but somehow, through a miracle that he didn't think was possible, Tenko doesn't do that in the end. He is still thinking, trying to unpack what he just heard, trying to understand, to sort out himself. Is that why we've been trying to avoid killing people save for those whom you told us to kill? Tenko asks eventually. Like Thunderbolt, Eclipse or Endeavor. Izuku nods. What? About the purge, the ISP camp, the training camp, and when we took down Purity. We're villains, Tenko. Izuku replies calmly. We are good ones. We are trying to make this world a better one. Our methods are not very nice, but they seem to be working. The people we killed were people who killed indiscriminately. We are trying to be better than them, to stop them from doing really bad things, while trying to do our best to avoid doing the really bad things ourselves while doing so, hence being spare with killings. What's the really bad thing? Tenko asks. Izuku prays quietly that he won't make it worse. But if he wants to get anywhere, he needs to risk things somewhere. Is there a quirk out there that allows you to foresee others' reaction to your words? Izuku would love to have it. Killing someone else is a woo. Izuku replies, and Tenko freezes. Instead of killing people who do that to others for a living. Despite knowing him for so many years, Izuku has no idea what is happening in his adopted older brother's head. His entire experience was thrown out of the window when Awu killed Decay and brought Tenko Shimura back to light. He gives him time. Minutes. This isn't Decay's emotional shutdown, but an honest internal debate. Tenko is trying to understand what he just heard and what his feelings about this. This is more than Izuku can say about Decay during his entire life. Eventually the conclusion is made. Can I? Tenko looks down. Not kill people anymore. Evil Mastermind's goals clash with the good of his adopted brother. It's not even a fight. Asterisk. Small Might, I think it's working, by the way. Tintin-can, what is? Small Might, your decision to let Suto go in order to, maybe, save Tenko from himself. Tintin-can, what happened? Small Might, he noticed that she seemed to feel hurt when he mentioned how many clans he killed. So, in his confusion, he came to me. Small Might, he left my office with a vow to not kill people ever again, unless this is the only chance to save his family members. I assume that he means at least me and Suto, maybe the rest of the league. Small Might, because he might be killing someone else's Suto, and he can't stand the idea. Small Might, I think Tenko just began to learn what empathy is. Tintin-can. Tintin-can, wow. Tintin-can, like, seriously, wow. Tintin-can, love can treat sociopathy or psychopathy like that? Small Might, I came to believe, after this talk, that he was never a sociopath or psychopath. Small might. Life messed him up, to the point where life and others lost all value to him. There was just him, a self-centered man-child with a power to murder people with a touch. Too hurt to even consider trying to leave his little hole. Small might. Nobody was there to explain to him what we consider to be common sense. Small might. But then he genuinely bonded with someone. First with me, which was enough. To make him at least sort of functional, although it was mostly me letting him play games in peace. Then with Suto. Small might. He had those moments when he, emotionally shuts down. We were joking that it's because he can only feel a single emotion at once, and anything more than that crashes his system. Small might. I think we were quite close, less the number of emotions and more the fact that he had no idea how to deal with them, and probably wasn't sure how half of them worked, or even how to name them. Small might. So when he was overwhelmed, he just ignored them all, until they went away, and probably treated everything as a form of a game to compensate, replace the entire worldview that didn't make sense to him. Small might. He spent half of our talk in something close to this state, but somehow he stuck to the subject and kept trying to unpack what's this all about. Probably because it was about Suto. Small might. I knew that love redeems and all that, but holy shit, I didn't think it could be that strong of a change. Tin can. So you just lost your mass destruction weapon because you managed to teach it that killing people is evil? Small might. Well, it's an odd way of putting it, especially as a hero is telling that to a villain. Tin can. Yes, a bit odd. Tin can. Then again, you are very odd. Small might. Well, thank you very much for your kind words. Small might. And sorry, but it's my family member we're talking about. Small might. I let Mustard go because he wanted to. And I'm willing to let Tenko go if he wants to. Small might. I'm trying to help them. Small might. So this is a low price to pay to make Tenko into a working human being, or at least a step closer to it. Small might. Don't expect him to turn himself in unless you publicly guarantee that he'll be sharing a cell with Suto, though. Small might. Maybe he'll consider therapy if his other half asks him to go with her? I should try that after Gigantomachia. Yes. Tin can. You are, without a doubt, the weirdest villain I ever heard about. Small might. But you did hear about me. Tin can. Is this some sort of reference I'm too modern to understand? Small might. Yes and T. *****. I can't believe you sent your son and his friends against Gigantomachia. Inko is angry at him. Moderately. So no physical violence, and still some time to straighten this out. He has all the arguments he needs for this. His son, that he is incredibly proud of, will depart tomorrow morning. For now, he and his friends and a younger brother are sleeping soundly. Said friends are, well, wives. Technically. Hisoshi is almost certain that this isn't the correct term for what they have going on between themselves, but he isn't one to lecture others on common sense. He has less of it than that adorable engine of chaos and madness that Gremlin is. He feels a kindred soul in her. She is himself, but from a different world, one where quirks didn't manifest and instead mankind embraced advanced technology. He and Inko are in their bed. Hisoshi would have wanted to sleep, but Inko is, as always, chatty when evening comes, and he knows that he is on the verge of sleeping on the couch, considering the state she is in. All part of my plan. Hisoshi honestly replies. For once it's not my sadism that makes Gigantomachia beat people. Probably the wrong wording, considering the look on Inko's face. Ua. Explain the plan, then. She asks, and he decides that he might as well do that. Chances of Gremlin deploying surveillance in their home so quickly are fairly low. PLF is an actual threat at this point. Hisoshi admits. Who would have thought that he missed such a brilliant young man as Kaichisaki and his wonderful, wonderful quirk? His alliance with Garaki, Imaginer's band of murderers, and now the remnants of the CRC and the entire ISP was an unexpected development, too. Hisoshi is patient and calm, and this chaotic era is too chaotic for him. League needs to get stronger. By recruiting Gigantomachia. Inko asks. They met already. Makia absolutely adored her as Lord's wife, and she seemed to like him in a way too. Hisoshi never inquired about it. And then he discovered that when she was young, she had a brother, one mentally challenged. He didn't live for long, but if she saw something of him in Makia, then it explained everything. especially her patience and how caring she was towards him. No, by having them fight it. Hisoshi replies promptly. She looks at him questioningly. Inko, during the UA training camp, heroes had their little child soldiers train extreme quirk. Usage for 3 days. I just organized league-identical training for at least 30 days. And, in a stressful combat situation, alongside our son who can heal all injuries if he moves. Quickly, including death itself. She seems to understand, but he decides to explain it further. They are already powerful, in both their quirk factors and the experience with their quirks, mostly thanks to Izuku's guidance. Guidance further improved by his understanding of Overhaul's theories about quirks and his pharmacology. I wonder if Izuku told anyone why. Kurogiri isn't letting anyone into the kitchen without his supervision. He chuckles. I'll be surprised if any of them will not reawaken their quirks at least once during this battle. It's not about Gigantomachia. Inko replies, looking positively in awe. She has moments. Like that, moments that actually make him feel proud of what he did. Of something other than a new quirk in his collection. Of course not. Hisoshi laughs. Heroes can't get him to serve them. And if Overhaul and Garaki tried to recruit it, I'd show up before Makia when they wouldn't be looking and tell him to leave them. Destroying the country would make it significantly harder for Eri to realize her dream of becoming a recovery hero, and Hisoshi can't have that happen, right? Besides, recovery heroes are more doctors than heroes, so he can tolerate them. Izuku told Dr. Garaki that I'm alive, and the very chance that it is true will scare him away from Gigantomachia. And the chance of them obtaining it was enough for Izuku to have the heroes keep away as well. The League will emerge from this battle strengthened tenfold, with heroes and the PLF assisting them in that. And all I had to do was to give Izuku a little push. And don't mention my willingness to reign in Gigantomachia if he got recruited by the PLF. Judging from the look Inko now has on her face, he feels content with his life when she looks at him like that. Every great man should have someone who looks at them like that. This is going to be a longer evening. Hisoshi is really looking forward to this. Asterisk. As expected. Overhaul announces over the comms. They went after Gigantomachia. This entity is of no use to him. He can't use it for his research, nor for anything else. So many diseases in a single body. He feels pity for the giant, pity dulled by the fact that the giant asked to be infected. It could be useful as a weapon, but how many other weapons would they have to throw away to obtain it? Useless as an asset, but not useless as a distraction. If they suppress it, it will be a problem. Doctor replies through the screen. Gigantomachia is a super weapon capable of holding ground against armies. You still don't understand Izuku, don't you? Overhaul sighs painfully through his mask. To think that his co-worker supposedly spent more time with Legion than he did. He detests the deaths of innocent people. All we need is to put a few around us, and Gigantomachia, Yu, will never be sent against us. Because Izuku Midoriya will not be able to avoid collateral damage. But this will lower the combat and espionage capabilities of our opponents for the time being. You're buying time. Doctor finally figured it out. Overhaul was increasingly tired of the little man. He was his intellectual equal, but his flaws were notable. He was useful, though. If he didn't have Wolfram recover the data from the Island, Overhaul would have nothing to work with. His memory of his own research was painfully incomplete. Like all others, he knew things in general, but details, those were awfully absent from his mind. We're buying time. Overhaul corrected him and coughed a bit. We have the Beast's bunch of rioters and rapists. We have Infection and her CRC remnants, together with Mastermind. Tactical genius. We have thousands of QLF soldiers, with more coming in from overseas. Every day. We have Yu, your first and second gen Numus. And now our enemies weakened themselves by dividing their forces to capture a weapon they won't use. And soon, we'll have enough third gen Numus and the Purified to defeat them all. Even All Might. And all for one, if he is truly alive, but he doesn't add it. Not in his current company. The future looks bright. He will cure the world. Chapter end notes. Yes, I boosted Gigantomachia. What about it? However, trying to accurately describe the weeks-long battle would be a pain in the ass, so expect a time skip between this and the next chapter. Oh, Did I mention that the next chapter might just include another plot earthquake? Is anyone still remembering the part where Lemillion asked Legion to investigate Miruko for him? Well, you'll find out in a week. Chapter Summary. Return. The League returns from its battle against Gigantomachia. A question gets answered. Chapter Notes. Yes, I know that it's Thursday evening, but I have a morning shift tomorrow, so I'm posting it slightly ahead of schedule, because I want to sleep long and nicely. Don't hate me for that. Also, I'm like 90% sure that there is at least a part of the world where it's Friday now. So, see the end of the chapter for more. Notes. The list of Japanese supervillains. SSS rank. Redestro, Meta Liberation Army. Overhaul, Paranormal Liberation Front. Dr. Garaki, Paranormal Liberation Front. Legion, League of Villains. SS rank. Mr. Compress, Levelers, Love. Mastermind, Creature Rejection Clan, PLF. Beast, Inhuman Supremacy Party, PLF. 9. Paranormal Liberation Front. Gigantomachia, Allegiance Unknown. Imagina, House of Red, PLF. S rank. Geeton, Meta Liberation Army. Slidden Go, Meta Liberation Army. Stain, League of Villains. Sunset, Quirkless Equality Movement, Love. Gremlin, Villain Industries, Love. Vantablack, Exchange, Love. Infection, Creature Rejection Clan, PLF. ****. List of major villainous organizations. Threat rank, SSS. Paranormal Liberation Front, revolutionary group from the merger of the Quirkless Liberation Front with a number of other factions, including a previously unknown scientific genius Dr. Garaki and his menagerie of Numas. Its stated goal is overthrowing the hero, society, and the society as a whole, in order to liberate what's considered abnormal by it. Suffered heavy casualties during the several large-scale raids by the heroes during the last 2 months. Meta Liberation Army, revolutionary group led by Redestro, who preaches the ideals of freeing the society from the restrictions on the quirk usage, allowing anyone to use them at their convenience. Quirk supremacists, preaching that the strength of your quirk dictates your value and importance to the society at large. Its state as a de facto regular army of the Free Republic of Japan on Hokkaido equals large numbers and possibility of open military exercises. League of Villains, part criminal syndicate, part revolutionary group. According to its manifest, it seeks a world where heroes and villains unworthy of their names are gone. Majority of its powers lie in numerous subsidiary groups, especially the smaller ones, while many high-profile groups joined the PLF. The overwhelming majority of smaller villain organizations joined the League. Threat rank, SS. Levelers, a troop of noble thieves, claiming to be led by a direct descendant of the Peerless Thief. Staged dozens of high-profile heists against companies indicted of malfeasance and heroes that its members found unheroic. Actual numbers unknown. Currently allied with the League of Villains. Creature Rejection Clan, an anti-complex quirk terrorist organization responsible for numerous riots, pogroms and assassinations of complex quirk rights activists. Suffered heavy casualties during a hero raid and League of Villains attack. Pending reclassification to Rank S organization. Currently allied with the Paranormal Liberation Front. Inhuman Supremacy Party, a pro-complex quirk terrorist organization responsible for numerous riots, massacres and other attacks. Despite years of fighting against each other with extreme ferocity, it has recently joined the PLF alongside the Creature Rejection Clan. Villain Industries, an underground corporation producing weapons, tools, and support equipment for villains throughout the country. Emerged relatively recently, however its logo is now a symbol of highest quality and becomes more and more commonplace. Currently allied with the League of Villains. Threat rank, S. Quirkless Equality Movement, Quirkless terror group that has replaced the Quirkless Liberation Front following its merger into the Paranormal Liberation Front. Expanded rapidly and is steadily becoming more and more active, with steadily rising number of terror attacks attributed to it. Currently allied with the League of Villains. Exchange, independent information brokership and espionage organization, which also acts as an intermediary for numerous other illegal deals. Responsible for numerous cases of industrial espionage, hacking attempts, and no less than 17 assassinations during the past 2 months alone. Currently allied with the League of Villains. House of Red, organization of serial killers and wannabe mass murderers, whose members typically possess powerful quirks and a taste in blood. Its existence was an urban legend for decades, but its existence was confirmed only recently. Currently allied with the Paranormal Liberation Front. *****. Midoriya Izuku wanted to die. Or, to be honest, he really wanted to go home and cuddle Ari and Asa to half-death, and then do the same with Mai and Himiko. But also to die, because the past 54 days were an absolute horror. Constant warfare, almost constant existence on the verge of quirk. Exhaustion. No video games. Very limited contact with the outside world. If not for Kurogiri still bringing back food and some scarce bits of news, Legion wouldn't even be sure if his organization still exists. They engaged that loathsome giant in combat for days and days and days, and it just refused to drop dead. 54 days since some of the League members slept for the last time. If not for Asa keeping them well rested, they would drop dead more than a month ago. It was just a horror. True one. But, eventually, they succeeded. Gigantomachia decided that they are worthy of him and was warped to the Midoriya's residence, where it probably flooded the entire region with tears. After discovering that not only the Lord's wife, but also the Lord himself were waiting for him, they all warped to the base. They mostly went to sleep immediately. Asa rendered them well rested and all that, but on some deep, psychological level they really needed to just go sleep, stay unconscious for a while. Mai and Himiko offloaded themselves into his bed, of course, wearing matching All Might pajamas, matching with his own, too. It was weird. They fell asleep almost immediately and somehow Mai was yet to squash him with an unconscious hug. He was still entangled too, much to leave the bed, not like he planned to. He decided to quickly open up his phone. Small Might, I lived bitch. Tin Can, you're back. *****. Small Might, yes and oh god I want to retire. Small Might, 54 days of non-stop, 24/7 combat. Small Might, the last time I slept was 36 days ago. Tin Can, what? Small Might, we brought someone who can restore your stamina and lift mental exhaustion. Small Might, but still. Small Might, I want to die so much. Tin Can, OOF. Tin Can, what about Gigantomachia? Small Might, he's probably flooding my home with tears after discovering that my mom, the Lord's wife and the second most favorite person of Gigantomachia, is alive. Small Might, that or he is outside, acclimating to the role of the world's ugliest garden gnome. Small Might, and I'm almost certain that Eri is already befriending him. Small Might, it's safely out of the war. You can tell that to Nedzu and the rest of your gang. Small Might, I need to sleep for Real now. Small Might, I have so many things to catch up on tomorrow. *****. Tintin, Legion is back. Deadpan Stalker, oh? Mr. Principal, his presence is welcome. Cat's Coffin app, I hate myself for this, but, yes. Mr. Principal, those 2 months were way too bloody, eh? We seem to be winning, but this is a war of attrition and I hate those. Deadpan Stalker, what about Gigantomachia? Tintin, subjugated, evacuated to Legion's home, getting acquainted with his family and ready to perform the role of world's ugliest garden gnome. Tintin, his words, not mine. Tintin, Legion's currently asleep, should show up tomorrow after he catches up. *****. The next day started, emotionally. They had a lot of things to catch up on. 54 days without seeing Blueberry and Vantablack, without seeing Spinner, and vice versa, of course. There was some drinking, there was some merrymaking, and general chaos. And then Izuku had time for a very serious talk. Izuku, you planned for this. Demon Lord, whatever you are trying to accuse me of, I'm innocent. Izuku, what about you setting us up on Gigantomachia to force our quirks to evolve and our combat strength to increase? Demon Lord, oh, looks like I'm caught red-handed. Izuku, GHR. Demon Lord, so how many quirk reawakening did you get? Demon Lord, I spent 54 days imagining those, and probably making some bets with your mom. Izuku, she was in on this. Demon Lord, what parent doesn't want their children to grow? Izuku, what parent sends their children against a 30 meters tall Kiju to make them grow? Demon Lord, we do? Izuku, IHATE. Demon Lord, cultivate it well. Izuku, Okay, so I'll admit, it worked swimmingly. Demon Lord, yes. Demon Lord, details? Izuku, no. Demon Lord, cruelty befits you as my son. Izuku, you've been successful at persuading me to share the details. Demon Lord, ouch. Izuku, decay, awakening once, class change 4 to 5. Izuku, vampire, awakening once, class change 4 to 5. Izuku, mine's crew, awakening once, class change 3 to 4. Izuku, stain, awakening once, class change 3 to 4. Izuku, toxicity, awakening once, class change 4 to 5. Izuku, juggernaut, awakening once, class change 4 to 5. Izuku, derby, awakening once, class change 4 to 5. Izuku, Awu, no awakenings because complex mutant, but she got massively stronger and faster. Izuku, Spinner and Gremlin made some massive progress when it comes to their own stuff, and honestly Spinner's kinda scary now. Izuku, also. Izuku, I can now use 3 quirks at once. Demon Lord, this is phenomenal. Izuku, I know. Demon Lord, details please. Izuku, no. Demon Lord, I've taught you well. Izuku, stop making this awkward. Izuku, okay, so. Izuku, Decay first learned how to exclude certain things from decaying. He doesn't need to carry his gloves anymore, and can for example decay only a specific part, like engine from a car, if he focuses enough, but I think it's just him actually putting some back into control, rather than an awakening. Izuku, then he saw Gigantomachia punching a Wu out and went homicidal to the point where he almost decayed Machia into dust while simultaneously decaying absolutely everything in the vicinity. It's an aura of decay that seems to be controllable of reaching dozens of meters in diameter and can still decay only specific things, though it only spreads through surfaces, so it can't attack flying targets and so on. Demon Lord, oh that's a dangerous thing. Izuku, yes. Izuku, Himiko got one of the craziest awakening I could imagine. Izuku, she can now use quirks of people she changes into. Demon Lord, so she can experience potentially dozens of quirks during her lifetime. Oh, she fits into this family so well. Also, it's wonderful. Izuku, yes. Izuku, Mine's crew went slightly crazy after failing to restrain Gigantomachia with his quirk for many times and can now connect to others who responded to him and take them over. Even if hours or days passed since they responded to him, though there is a limit to how many latent connections he can maintain at the same time. Demon Lord, now that's a powerful and useful ability, all right. Izuku, would be stronger if we managed to achieve it from the start. We could easily conceal the mechanism of his quirk by having him pretend that something else is a trigger. Welp. Izuku, Stain just awoke an ability similar to late power punch in that drinking blood of people not only paralyzes them but also empowers him, makes him stronger and faster. And by a lot. The stronger people he paralyzes, the bigger the boost. Izuku, Toxicity probably got the weirdest awakening ever. Demon Lord, who is that? Izuku, Kurogiri's in turn. Her entire body is poisonous. Breath, skin contact, and bites all cause different forms of poisoning. Izuku, well now her words are literally poisonous too. Demon Lord, what? Izuku, hearing her voice makes people feel as if they were drugged, disorientation, emotional shifts, confusion, balance problems, irrational behavior, etc. Izuku, Gremlin installed voice changer and voice amplifier because OF. Course why not, into her mask so she can speak normally with it. But still, wow. Izuku, we are going to experiment if certain tones or words do not cause certain symptoms later on. Izuku, Juggernaut looks like a little Gigantomachia. The giant was actually somewhat confused at it himself, and has a quirk that negates reaction to his movements. He can punch a boulder for days without wounds, but once totaled a truck by making a step towards it before the impact, since his quirk read it as a reaction to his movements. Izuku, well now his body stores the absorbed kinetic strength and can use it to boost his own movements, mostly punches, thus far. Izuku, and Darby learned how to empower fire that isn't his in the vicinity. He can turn it blue, make it hotter and control, but only to some degree. Demon Lord, this is even more than I expected. Izuku, Demon Lord, you keep outdoing my expectations, you know it. Izuku, so, who won the bets? Demon Lord, I did, of course. Izuku, right. *****. So, How did your transfer to the exchange go? Izuku asks. Spinner's face is unusually clouded, and for a while Izuku worries that he messed up somewhere along. They are both in his office on the top floor of the base. Spinner is wearing his standard t-shirt and long trousers, both looking like they went through hell a few times at least. Quite well, all things considered. Spinner replies, and Izuku is reassured. You and Gremlin have given me quite an interesting thing to play with. I give you that, you were right. And I think I enjoy working with Vantablack. When Spinner discovered a while ago that his quirk was less gecko and more general lizard, Izuku immediately had a brilliant idea. They managed to figure out how to make Spinner's skin have slight chameleonic properties. Then Gremlin figured out how to share this with his clothes. And then Izuku has offered him the Notice Me Not quirk, after running some tests and discovering enough of free quirk factor. Add that to Spinner's ability to scale vertical walls, and you get a horrifically dangerous spy/assassin. Someone who could practically vanish from sight everywhere he wanted. Spinner was the pride of the exchange's small hired killers department, according to what he heard from Vantablack. He killed 4 people during the Gigantomachia battle, each of them reasonably dangerous. 2 were B ranks, 1 was an A rank villain, and the last remaining person was some lower ranked hero. All of them had a history of hate crimes, especially against the complex mutants. Mixing business with a pleasure like that had to be enjoyable. So I'm all right with the transfer. Spinner concludes. Although don't hesitate to call me for something big from time to time. And I'm still going to hang out with the Vanguard and the rest of the league when not working. It would be a sad and empty league without you. Izuku replies, and Spinner smiles. Many other crews would ignore such words from their leader, but Izuku has the comfort of his followers knowing that he genuinely likes them, that they were truly his family. What about the special assignment? Oh, so that's why his face was so clouded earlier. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Small might, I'd like to announce. Small might, that I figured out what you asked me to find out about Miruko. Small might, and you were right. Small might, oh boy you were right. Tintin can, damn it. Small might, how quickly can you get Nedzu, sir, All Might, Tsukochi and Eraserhead to join us here? Because I don't think you can invite me to your secret convo without risking Gremlin stealing all your secrets. Tintin can, 15 minutes. I'll just tell them honestly that it's a crisis. Small might, all right. I'll give you an invitation link to this chat room. Sleepyhead, unranked, joins the chat with default nickname of Nap Needed. Small might, Eraserhead is here first. Small might, wow, I didn't see that coming. Nap Needed, problem child. Nap Needed, what is it this time? Small might, nothing good. Nap Needed, I see. Small might, also I knew that was you. Nap Needed. Small might, I saw you on some villain net forum, telling some gangsters that their plan was illogical and asking to meet with you. Small might, I just knew that was you. Nap Needed, sigh. American Dream, unranked, joins the chat with default nickname of All Right. All right, I feel deeply uncomfortable with using villain network, Mirio. Tintin can, sorry but it's important. Small might, OMG it's All Might. All right. Legion. Small might, yes. Small might, I'm super honored to have you here, Sir All Might. Small might, please can you sign something with dedication to Vampire, she's your second greatest fan in the league and I need a present for her. All right, I'll think about this, delivery might be problematic. All right, also, are you using this nickname when talking with league members? Small might, and other villains too. All right. Tintin can, it's best to get used to this. Foresight, unranked, joins the chat with default nickname of Spying Eye. Spying Eye, hello. Small might, Sir Night Eye. Spying Eye. I'm 90% sure that you are Legion. Tintin can, is Mirio the remaining 10%? Spying Eye, so it's Legion. Nice to know where you moved your talks after Nedzu found out. Mirio. Tintin can, doing my best to always be one step ahead of him. Small might, plus ultra. Tintin can, plus ultra. All right, I'm slightly worried. Spying Eye, I have an eye on the situation. Tintin can, ha 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 ha. Interrogator, unranked, joins the chat with default nickname of Lie Detector. Lie Detector, so, what is it about? Nap Needed, we're waiting for Nedzu to find out. Scurzy Kroll, SSS rank, joins the chat with default nickname of Principal. Principal, am I a mouse? Am I a bear? Well, I'm certainly a principal. Nap needed. I'm not even going to ask about your villain rank. Nap needed. I just don't want to know. I'm not paid enough to care. Lie detector. Same. Except for paying. Spying eye. I think I'm interested in knowing. Principal. I'm just a perfectionist when it comes to gathering intel under secret identities. Small might. LOL. Let's just move on then. Small might. Everyone is present there. So we can open the emergency crisis management. Chat. Small might. A while ago, around the time you had that first war council meeting that I wasn't told about. Small might. Mirio asked me to investigate one of the council members for him. Spying eye. What? Tin can. Wait for it, please. Small might. Mostly because it would be an awkward thing if they discovered that Sir or Nedzu are doing this, and I'm a villain, so it's not like anyone expects me to behave. Small might. The exchange finished their investigation a few days ago. Mirio's worries were spot on. Principal, do we have a spy in the council? Small might. Arguably worse than that. By an order of magnitude. Several probably. Lie detector. Oh great. Nap needed. Ugh, what is it? Small might. I'm going to say the probably least likely sentence to ever be spoken in Japanese. Small might. Miruko and Knuckle Duster are preparing a coup d'etat. Principal, oh dear. Spying eye. They do what? All right, is this a joke? Tin can. Yeah, just what I was afraid of. Awesome. Tin can. Way too buddy with each other, but not too openly. And Miruko is way too angry about everything. Not to mention they are both leading deeply secretive organizations hating the Hero Commission. Spying eye. Wait, I'm still trying to process what I just heard. I know Miruko is angry. Permanently. But a coup. Small might. I'll be frank with you. Small might. Everyone seriously downplays the level of anger within the table of rejects. Small might. By their standards, Miruko is a moderate. She is apparently a voice of reason among the table leaders. All right. Oh my god. Nap needed. Carrot. Small might. I had Spinner investigate them. He actually wrote a university thesis on how to spot a coup brewing, probably because he was already interested in coups and so on due to being a complex mutant. All signs are there. The level of hatred towards the government and the Hero Commission is just intense, and it's brewing silently. Small might. They aren't showing it in public because we know what the Commission owned journalists would do to them. They are all taking the punches in without sticking their heads out, and the Commission tends to use them as scapegoats over that. This adds to the hatred. Small might. Exchange got some light into the table's preparations. Weapon and support. Items gathering. Organizing safe houses oddly near major Commission's facilities. Buying. Quirk analysis of Commission's heroes on the black market. Vantablack noticed no less than 30 cases of someone remotely connected to supposed table members buying those from the exchange. Small might. I had him ask some pre-league information brokers and some of them remember similar movements before Redestro's coup. Small might. Why so silent? Principal. Re-evaluating various activities I noticed in the past, but might have misinterpreted. Spying eye. Same. Continue narrating what you know. Nap needed. This is quite horrible, but why am I here? Shouldn't Ms. Joke be here instead? Small might. Because I'm not certain where Ms. Joke's loyalty lies in all of that. Nor about the other underground heroes. Nap needed. What are you insinuating? Small might. That the table has loads of underground heroes with villainous quirks in their ranks. Like 2/3 of the underground hero network belongs to the groups represented by the table. And Ms. Joke is its head. Small might. I'm not taking any chances with this. Small might. Knuckle Duster isn't a part of the table, but the League located several notable vigilantes connected to the preparations we noticed. Tin can, and Knuckle Duster seems weirdly cozy with Miruko during the meetings. And they are all friends, I think, from some underground fight clubs. Small might, yeah. But we all know how close Knuckle Duster is with Narahata vigilantes, and we had Crawler of all people approach an exchange-aligned information broker asking about a quirk analysis of some commission hero. So either he is doing this behind Knuckle Duster back, or the big boss asked him to do that and Crawler doesn't know about the reasons, or they are both in it together. And if they are both together, the entire alliance is nap needed. Shit. Lie detector, to say the least. Small might. Gang Orca seems to the organizational leader of this whole thing, but Miruko, with her high rating and Maudi behavior, is still a figurehead of the table, just know. Patience for organizing a coup. Small might. Orca seems to be going the let's build it up slowly and steadily route, while Miruko seems to be trying to not overthrow the government, mostly due to the risk of the thing going bad and making mutant lives worse. But I'll be frank. Small might, according to Spinner, if the commission does something really mean against the complex mutant or villainous quirk heroes in public, Miruko will either take the lead and start the coup d'etat or will have herself and probably gang Orca overthrown. Shishido is way more radical apparently. The lower ranks of the table are pretty much permanently on fire. Small might. If Miruko wasn't as moody, they would have overthrown her already for being disgustingly moderate for their standards. Instead they look up to her for speaking what they think but in the people's faces. Small might. So, what do we do about it? Chapter end notes. In case someone wondered, Skurzy Król means Rat King in Polish. It might be best not to know. Also no, Miruko's mysterious ship isn't Miruko x Knuckle Duster, nor Miruko's feet x HPSC President's face. Keep guessing. I'd also like to announce 2 things. Thing number 1, I have done a one-shot. Feel free to give it a read. https://archivo4own.org/works/378711560. Thing number 2, there are 2 more fics in the series, ties. That bind is super cool and dead on arrival is apparently a bit of a victim of SOSO tagging issue, and I've been told repeatedly that it's actually very good. Some even say the best of my stuff. Give it a chance, even if you aren't sure if the tags or idea suits you, okay? Chapter summary. Bonds. The war continues, families change, secrets are revealed and a blackmail is made. Chapter notes. Yes, not the right day. But I'm publishing 2 other fics today, and it's my birthday. So, have a present. Tongue sticking out. See the end of the chapter for more. Notes. All for One taught his child and successor many things. Oddly enough, how to wage a war wasn't among them. Hisoshi Midoriya ruled a secret empire from the shadows for 2 centuries. He never really, until the very end, had any enemy that could hope to topple it. 1. For all holders were more of an amusing distraction than threat. Heroes were meaningless. Before his might. Governments he could topple if he really wished to. He waged exactly a single war in his life, and for all intents and purposes he lost it. All Might. Supported by Nedzu's and Sir Nightai's smarts and Tsukochi's circle of friends within the police, were gaining ground on him even before All for One messed up and ended up facing his archenemy alone, even without summoning his own bodyguard. Izuku was thus content with delegating the general command of the war to those who already proved that they know how to win it. Nedzu and Sir Nightai were carefully studying the events throughout the country, fishing for the operations that seemed to be connected to the Paranormal Liberation Front. Whenever they found something, they sent local heroes against it. Underground Network, Vigilante Alliance, and the League of Villains were playing mostly supportive roles, gathering intel primarily. Izuku was happy with that. People participating in the battle against Gigantomachia deserved some free time. Plus this gave him some time to continue subjugating whatever was left of the independent groups of the Underworld. There weren't many. Criminal groups of Japan had either thrown their lot with the League of Villains or with the Paranormal Liberation Front. Izuku made some calculations, and it turned out that for the first time in forever, he could balance the League's budget, if you exclude the ridiculous spending caused by war against PLF. He got his empire, though now had to cut down the sole remaining pretender to the throne. And Voila. He would officially become a symbol of evil. Of course, whether groups loyal to him would stay loyal to him if there was no PLF to scare them straight was anyone's guess. He missed no occasion to observe Nedzu and Sir Nightai's warcraft. He was going to be their next opponent, and while he had no interest in anything besides an eternal stalemate, it wouldn't be easy to achieve. He had to be better than his father if he wanted to achieve this. They were obviously winning the war, which left him incredibly nervous. He saw no signs of Mastermind's handiwork. The heavy hitters of the PLF were nowhere to be seen. Nobody saw Overhaul since the training camp attack. That was incredibly suspicious. Vantablack started to complain about not liking the silence, like he did before the training camp, and this alone brought back bad memories. Izuku was observing the news about a large and successful hero raid on some PLF hideout in eastern Tokyo with Himiko and, surprisingly enough, my flanking him on the couch, stealing his chips, when the message came. Demon Lord, something came up. Demon Lord, when can you and your brother come home? Asterisk asterisk asterisk. How's your day, Makia? Izuku asked after stepping through Kurogiri's warp gate. Asa emerged from it behind his back. Young lord. Makia bellows. He is standing in front of Midoriya's house. Like a garden gnome, just big and ugly, and capable of destroying a small city when asked. Asa is only slightly intimidated at this point. Everything is all right, Makia guards. Well, he is wearing a pink scarf. Eri did it, Inko helped, because Makia looked like he could be cold, standing outside, wearing only pants. Eri has swiftly deposed Izuku as the third most important person in Gigantamakia's life, and Izuku didn't even have a problem with that. Being in fourth place is good enough for him. Great job, continue guarding. Izuku says. Gigantamakia, now only 3 meters tall, nods fervently. Asa does his best to keep Izuku between him and the giant as they walk past it and enter the house. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. We have an announcement to make. Hisoshi says. He and Inko are sitting on a couch on one side of the coffee table, while Izuku and Asa are on the one opposing it. Eri is in school. Currently, probably busy making her teachers and other students feel content in life. Is Mom pregnant? Izuku decides to ask. It really feels like something like it. Then again, he wasn't there when she was pregnant for the first time. Well, technically he did, just not in a position with a good view on what was happening. He has nothing to compare it to. I'll have another sibling. Hisoshi is taken aback slightly. To quote yourself, yes and T. Now Izuku is very much lost. And so is Asa. Inko, please help me with this. No, Inko replies promptly. You've made your bed, now lie in it. She is merciless on some occasions. When she isn't crying or fainting, at least. All for one is clearly uncomfortable with the subject, and that alone is worrying. All right, so I'll just skip to the chase. I considered this a form of a joke, frankly, but I did have someone do DNA tests on Asa. I assure you that I was absolutely and utterly shocked by the discovery that he actually is my biological son. Asa stares at all for one, looking like he wasn't sure what he just heard. Izuku actually has a similar look on his face. In moments like this, it's really easy to see familial similarities between them. Wait, what? Izuku is the first to regain his bearings. But you said there was no one but my mom. Because there wasn't. Hisoshi is defensive. Very much. Then again, he is still alive, despite the whole child out of wedlock thing. So if Inko didn't murder him, he had to find a really good explanation for it. I wasn't very interested in sex. First I was too busy building my empire, and then I felt content ruling everything and everyone, and collecting quirks. However that might sound, Inko is the first woman in my life. Izuku starts to wonder if his problems with relationships aren't inherited as well. I think that I found an explanation for it, however. Explanation. Izuku says. Asa is still out of commission. Izuku puts his arm around him as a form of emotional support, although it might also be a physical support if Rabbit ends up fainting. About 22 years ago, Dr. Garaki approached me with an idea for an experiment plus something more. All for one replies. It was a form of an eugenic program. To be honest, he wanted to set up a fertility clinic as a front, offering in vitro treatment to pairs with fertility issues. In some rare cases, he would replace the sperm or eggs with those from some high-ranked villains bearing powerful quirks. Said rare cases would be mostly dictated by whether the villain in question was similar enough in looks to the replaced parent to avoid being ousted easily, and by whether the quirks of said villain and the other parents promised the resulting offspring to possess powerful quirks. The biggest sign of how much Eri changed him is the fact that he genuinely looks ashamed of what he was saying. All right, so I just found something even worse than quirk marriages. Izuku replies. Wow, you agreed to that. Actually, I didn't. Hisoshi replies, surprising him. Not on the moral grounds, mind you. Mostly because if the children developed powerful quirks, there was a high chance of them becoming heroes. That meant their DNA being added to the databases, and high risk of someone noticing that they are an offspring of some completely unrelated supervillain, which would expose the entire program to the world. So for me, it looked like something you invest into for decades only to lose the whole thing soon after its debut. However, I didn't forbid the doctor from pursuing it, just pointed out the flaws and said that I'm not going to finance it. Now, however, I confirmed that Asa is actually my son, despite me never meeting his mother. And I know that Dr. Garaki ran certain tests on me after I met Inko to see if I can actually have a child despite having an immortality quirk. What's more, I had someone investigate the issue and discovered that Asa was born as a result of in vitro fertilization in some rather unassuming fertility clinic. Hisoshi size. One that was opened 22 years ago. Do we know how many special children were born that way? Izuku asks, still in shock. Asa is in even greater shock. Unfortunately, we don't. Hisoshi replies, you might want to set heroes upon it. Garaki is your enemy, and, well, it might be best to locate the resulting children before the PLF does. Because the older ones are young adults right now, and it's possible that Overhaul will try to recruit them, or kidnap for experiments. He was certainly going to do this, if only out of spite. Garaki just upped a level or two in Izuku's hate list. So, Izuku turns his head towards Asa. Rabbit is staring at him with wide eyes. Even more of a brother, Asa's face suddenly erupts with a smile. He hugs Izuku, who hugs him back. 2 seconds. Later, Inko is behind Asa and joins the group hug. Hisoshi is only slightly slower. *****. Small Might, I have an announcement. Vampire Princess, oh? Vantablack, gimme, your announcements are always gold. Clown Lord, yes I agree but they are gold with just a hint of existential horror. Toxic Girl, just please not in another Gigantomachia. Insomniac, we are in agreement on that, at Toxic Girl. Small Might, following way too many jokes about how Asa looks like my biological brother. My dad decided to do DNA tests just to prove that this isn't the case. Small Might, as a result at Minamiruko leveled up from my cherished adopted brother to my cherished biological half-brother. Cat Provider, what? Vampire Princess, laughing face, laughing face, laughing face. Vantablack, WTF. Clown Lord, oh great, another small all for one. Toxic Girl, oh. Sneaky Gecko, okay that was the last thing I expected XD. Minamiruko, I'm happy. Minamiruko, if my brother and father are confident and smart and powerful. Minamiruko, then I can be like that too. Small Might, 3. Vampire Princess, oh you'll be. Toxic Girl, yep. Also you are already smart. Super smart. And your quirk is powerful. You just need to work on confidence, laughing face. Minamiruko, thank you. Cat Provider, did your dad survive that discovery? I'm almost certain that Inko can probably defeat him and Gigantomachia at once if she gets really angry. At least when she manages to surprise him, I still remember that chokehold. Small Might, well he found a very good explanation. Turns out that Dr. Garaki is running a fertility clinic where he might tinker around with in vitro treatments to mass produce descendants of villains with powerful quirks. And he might have obtained Dad's sperm. When Dad asked him to check if he is actually fertile after all these years. Vantablack, oh dear. Small Might, less Nedzu impression please. Vantablack, this is kinda sick. Small Might, yes. Vampire Princess, seriously messed up. Small Might, yes. Small Might, apparently Garaki did it behind his back, but I'm only 75% certain that it was really the case. Sneaky Gecko, so we might have who knows how many people related to supervillains out there, with powerful quirks, and PLF knows who they are. Small Might, yes and that's kinda a problem. Small Might, also he ran DNA tests on blood samples of everyone from the League. Remember the incense-ordered blood tests once we returned from Makia outing? Small Might, we have 3 matches other than Minamiruko, although only 2 seem to be a product of the same program. Vampire Princess, oh great, another let's tilt your world upside down talk. Small Might, you're not going to let that thing go, aren't you? Vampire Princess, nope, laughing face. Toxic Girl, who is it? I hope it's not me. Small Might, no, you are clean. Small Might, but it turns out that Juggernaut's apparent resemblance to Gigantomachia isn't a coincidence. Juggernaut, seriously. Small Might, I wouldn't joke about that. Small Might, so yeah, you technically spend 54 days beating your biological father into submission while he was trying to murder you. And I don't think he has enough brainpower to understand the concept of being a father. Juggernaut, it's all right. I was adopted. And I knew about it. Toxic girl, oh yeah, you showed me the pictures. Your parents are small. Absolutely not. Similar to you in any way. Toxic girl, and quite cool, though I guess they are similar in that one thing. Juggernaut, yes, they are my parents, regardless of how they obtained me. Vampire princess, okay, so this turned out super wholesome. Vantablack, yep. Small Mite, nice to know that we actually have a member without parental issues. Blueberry, so what, am I Eclipse's daughter actually? XD, that would be hilarious. Small Mite, about that. Blueberry, are you kidding me? Small Mite, this is an absolute coincidence, but somehow you actually kinda are. Vantablack, holy shit, this is just so messed up, makes you wonder how many goddamn kids. Garaki produced. Small Mite, I'm going to ask Nedzu to find out. Because holy shit. Blueberry, OMG. Blueberry, I pretended to be her daughter 4 months, but it turned out that I actually am her daughter. Blueberry, how am I supposed to feel about this? Small Mite, I don't know. Blueberry, wait. Blueberry, you killed my mother and gave me her quirk. Small Mite, I know. Small Mite, in my defense, she was a bitch. Blueberry, okay, that does sounds like a fair reason. Blueberry, especially as I agree about her being a bitch. Blueberry, I guess this explains why I look similar to her, OMG. Small Mite, that's actually what gave me an idea to make you pretend to be her daughter. Oh, the irony. Small Mite, what's more, the late bloomers have a high chance of having quirkless children. So, yeah, that explains why I had to give you a quirk to begin with. Small Mite, and why you mastered it so quickly. You must have inherited the minor biological adaptations to it from Eclipse, just not the quirk itself. Small Mite, you joining the QLF and then League and then me forming QEM with you as its head as an Eclipse daughter is just an absolute coincidence though. Vantablack, what's the chance of 3 kids from the list ending in a single organization at the same time? Small Mite, small unless the initial numbers are big. Then again, we are a villain group, mostly formed of villains of appropriate age but powerful quirks, so we are probably overrepresented, but Small Mite, there might be dozens of children like that out there. Small Mite, 3/4 are probably young heroes or are going to hero schools, unless their parents were messy or circumstances made them go villain. Small Mite, UA is going to get a common brain aneurysm over that, and don't have me started on what commission will do. Small Mite, Jesus Christ, I hate Garaki now. Small Mite, the third one is, well, not related to the program at all. And it's about a woo. A woo. Handyman. Insomniac, just make a single account. It's not like you are 2 people at this point. Just one person with 2 bodies. Small Mite, Carrot. Small Mite, I might have found who your father was. On a complete accident. Small Mite, although it's not that much of a surprise, because with how rapey he gets, he probably has a lot of children. A woo, oh. Handyman, who? Small Mite, Beast. Asterisk. Small Mite, I'd like to make an announcement that by a complete accident I have discovered a large, 22 years old and probably still ongoing operation of Dr. Garaki, and this discovery is going to make the entire society poop square for months if made public. If not, years. Tintin can. Great. Nap needed. More nightmares. Principal, oh dear. Spying eye, and I assume that this is something that you need our help to dismantle. Small Mite, more like I don't want to touch that mess with a 20-foot pole encased in barbed wire, and besides this is going to be a PR nightmare for everyone in this country, so have fun dealing with this while I'm cuddling with girls and playing video games with boys in my hidden lair. Alright. Small Mite, turns out that Dr. Garaki is using some large fertility clinic to run a long-time eugenics program during which he impregnates random women with children of various supervillains with sufficiently powerful quirks through in vitro fertilization. For the past 22 years. Tintin can, are you kidding me? Principal, oh dear. Lie detector. Small Mite, yes, that's exactly my reaction, Jesus Christ. Small Mite, it turns out that I have 3 such children within the League of Villains alone. I don't want to speculate how many more are out there, but you should probably start running genetic tests on everyone less than or equal to 22 years old with powerful quirks. Small Mite, I have children of Eclipse, Gigantomachia, and all 4. One in my league, and I have no idea how many others like them. are out there. Spying eye, you what? Small might, I don't get it myself. Principal, okay, this is the moment when I of all people need to say what the hell. And brew more tea. A lot more. Lie detector, and I need to get very, very, very drunk. All right, each time I think that All for One can't get any worse than he already is, he pulls. Something like that. Even from beyond the grave. Small might, I don't want to rock your boat, All Might, but me and Mom went through some old documents and I'm 99% sure that Garaki did it behind his back. He apparently considered it a waste of time that can be easily unmade when only someone notices that some powerful hero is a genetic descendant of an unrelated supervillain. Principal, so you admit that All for One is your father. Small might, you and Eraserhead are literally the only people on this chat room who didn't know that for sure already. Nap needed. What? Principal, oh. All right, Legion is right. There has been a certain development in Lemillion's quirk which has proven that beyond any doubt. But we were trying to keep that development under wraps for the time being, and we couldn't provide any evidence for Legion's parentage without explaining said development. Spying eye, Mirio? Tin can. Yeah, so apparently my quirk finally matured, and I'm going to inherit, one by one, quirks of all of my predecessors, sans those quirkless. Also, I have 26 dead heroes in my head, and they are apparently running a democracy in there. Tin can. I'm not exactly sure how to explain that to people, so I preferred to keep only a minimal amount of people aware of it. Nap needed. I think I can understand why. Tin can. I wouldn't believe it myself if I didn't unlock Nana Shimura's All Mights teacher quirk right after talking with her in a dream. Tin can. Finding out that I can now fly has been a bit of a game changer. Tin can. The point is that said heroes confirmed, after brief physical contact with Legion, in Hosu, that he is All for One's son and has inherited his quirk. But he only had 10 quirks as a whole, and only one was stolen from the original overhaul, while the rest he received from willing donors. And after reviewing what they knew about overhaul, they voted 24:22. Let that one act of quirk stealing slide. Principal, I really think that I should be informed about this earlier. Tin can. I have a deal with Legion, for as long as the 26 dead heroes in my head consider him to not be a younger version of All for One, I'm treating him like any other villain out there. If they ever change their mind, I'm switching to extermination mode. So, All Might vs. All for One feud Mark II, and make it my sole focus. Tin can. Didn't mention it to anyone I didn't have to, because, well, it's easy to overreact when you hear about Legion being able to steal quirks and so on. Tin can. Thus far I think the heroes in my head low-key like him, actually. Especially his uncle, the first holder. Nana Shimura too, because he almost killed himself to save Gran Torino in Hosu. Tin can. And after hearing about League members' backstories, I developed an intense dislike towards the idea of pursuing and trying to kill Legion due to his quirk or who his father was, rather than trying to pursue and apprehend him due to his actions. Spying eye, fully understandable and commendable approach. Principal, I see. Well, that explains your drive to confirm his words wherever possible. And I believe I will adapt a similar approach to him to said dead heroes. Small might, Small might at Tin can. Do you want to hear the peak hilarity of this discovery? Tin can. I don't think that saying no will change anything, so yes. Small might. I had my mom adopt Asa Naoki as my younger brother only to discover that he actually was my younger brother. Spying eye. Tin can. What the hell? Small might. I don't know. Small might. What are the chances of this happening? Principal. That depends on the number of children born through that program. Principal. Good news is that the number isn't large, most likely. The candidates need to be vetted with extreme attention to details in order to avoid discovery. In vitro treatment isn't that common. I don't think there are more than 20 to 30 such children. Principal, but we can expect most of them to have powerful Class 4-5 quirks. So most of them are either villains and heroes. Principal, add League's tendency to recruit brilliant young villains of appropriate age, and you suddenly have an overrepresentation of Garaki's children in their midst. Spying eye, we'll have to step very carefully in this. Majority of them have probably become heroes or are striving towards this goal. Powerful quirk bearers tend to do that. If we come forward with this, we can ruin careers and lives of many people who do not deserve that. Principal, true. But we also need to dismantle that clinic before it produces more of such children, and find out who they are. Small might, because we cannot be sure if Garaki and the PLF aren't going to try to pick them up. It sickens me, but they are like a buffet of powerful quirks to be harvested for his numification program. Or to be recruited, some false story, DNA tests result and you can drive a wedge between them and their families easily. Principal, indeed. Small might, I'm sending at Principal and at Spying Eye links to the webpage of the clinic in question. Find some alternative explanation for walking into it and starting to arrest people. And check computers. Small might end up finding something about Garaki too, hopefully. Asterisk. Tin Can, there is something I need to ask you about. Small might, back to a private chat with just the two of us? Tin Can, yeah. Small might, sure then, what is it? Tin Can, is your dad still alive? Small might, what? Small might, what brought that question? Tin Can, your uncle's ceaseless paranoia about his brother. Small might. Tin Can, you keep referring to what happened to your father as him getting beaten up or forcefully retired and so on by All Might, but never ever did I hear the word killed or any other word directly meaning dead. Small might, I just dislike thinking that my idol killed my father, so I refer to it differently. Tin Can, I'm not buying that. Small might, what? Tin Can, you dislike directly lying to people you respect. When you really need it, you just make them come to a wrong assumption on their own. Or tell them that you can't talk with them about something. Tin Can, so my educated guess is that your dad is alive. The heroes in Lemillion's head start waking up from their stupor. They saw his investigation. But it was only known that he vocalized, or, to be exact, wrote down, his theory. The first holder watches what's happening with attentive eyes. Small might, and now you're just talking through your ass. Small might, you don't just stand up from a hit like that. Tin Can, so he didn't stand up. Let me guess, life support. Small might, stop twisting my words. Tin Can, still no straightforward answer. So let me make it easier. Tin Can, your uncle had me investigate the hospital where your father was pronounced dead. Imagine my surprise when I found the doctor who pronounced him dead to be oddly cozy with Dr. Garaki during his tenure in the hospital in question. Small might, what? Tin Can, if you don't give me sufficient reason not to do this, I'm telling Sir Night Eye, All Might and Nedzu about my findings. Them knowing that your father might be alive will change their approach to League entirely. Small might, this is blackmail. Tin Can, this is plus ultra persuasion. Tin Can, talk to me, Izuku. Small might, fuck you Mirio. Tin Can, time to ask the question on the Alliance chat room then. Small might, okay stop. Small might, damn it. Small might, you won. Small might, yes my dad is still alive. First holder's face darkens. Shouts start behind him. Even Nana is back. Small might, spent several years on life support, blind and almost deaf. Then Eri fixed him up and he decided that he isn't paid enough to risk this shit again and decided to retire from crime and live with his family full time. Small might, I think that the only crime he committed during last year is paying me an allowance since it's technically financing the League. I think that he is even paying taxes properly nowadays. Rioting heroes go quiet. All watch the unbelievable words in front of them together. The first holder feels his jaw drop. Small might, considering the current hour, he is probably watching cartoons with Eri. Small might, didn't steal a single quirk since the battle, save for overhauls, but he gave that one to me. Small might, listen, if you want to fight him over his past crimes, be my guest. He deserves a lifetime in prison, regardless of my feelings for him as a father. Heroes in your head alone deserve justice for what he did to them, and sometimes their families, and friends, and probably pets and neighbors, and their workers at their favorite cafe or bar. Small might, but not now. He is back to full strength. All Might won narrowly last time, because my dad gloated over his broken body. I assure you that he won't make the same mistake again. Small might, there is a reason why I'm doing my best to make him stay in retirement. Small might, you are too weak to make a difference, at least yet. And we can't lose all might right now or we'll lose the war. Small might, take advantage of the fact that his power stays the same, bulk up your quirk. Then ask me to set up a meeting when you'll be strong enough to apprehend him without dying or getting maimed, and we won't be risking Japan changing into post-apocalyptic wasteland if you get crippled. Small might. Just don't TRY anything now and don't tell a word to THE. UA. Small might. You'll just give Overhaul the greatest gift ever with that. Tin Tin Can. I need proof for all of that. Small might. What proof am I supposed to give you? A picture of him, wearing a really atrocious fake mustache. Me and Eri at a HeroCon last year. I can send you one at a moment's notice, but I don't think that can persuade you and the heroes in your head in any way. Tin Tin Can, I have an idea. But you will not like it. Neither did the 26 dead heroes in his head. Chapter end notes. Okay, so I have a few things to say. 1. Inko beating All for One and Gigantomachia is impossible. In fact, either of them would defeat her on their own. It's just that Inko managed to obtain a mimetic badass status within the family, hence the jokes. 2. Beast, *exists star. Tenko Shimura, I'm about to end this man's whole career. You've really done F__K up, old man. 3. Small might, I had my mom adopt Asa Naoki as my younger brother only to discover that he actually was my younger brother. Spying eye. Can you see this? These 3 simple dots contain the immeasurable fury and self-hatred of a man who realized that he could have All for One's son with a powerful quirk, no less, as a sidekick at his agency. If he didn't F__K up. Words truly fail to describe it properly. 4. Mirio made quite a good blackmail, and Izuku got so used to being his kind of friend that he once again attempted a plus-ultra tactic of convincing Mirio that he is actually an okay guy, despite the whole supervillain status. Whether it worked remains to be seen. Let's just say that considering what sort of plan Mirio has, he might actually have a death wish. This will be all for today. Next part coming soon, so please share and subscribe to get informed as soon as the next part drops.